and I'll press record
So, Chris, you're recording this meeting?
in the cloud.
Okay.
We
Yep.
you could record it too, Reed,
I'm just trying to,
if you
because I
want. You could record it too because if you record it to your computer, I'm recording to the cloud, but if you record to your computer, we'll have everybody on a
And I'll
separate
press
track.
record. And I have the video going on on YouTube, so that's running.
Okay. So I'm gonna push the button or somebody who's letting people in here.
I have been. Do you want me to admit all?
So
before we start, Chris, can you just confirm that you're still able to record on your computer? Because I clicked stop recording so that I could start recording on my computer instead of the cloud.
I have recording going on now. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, I see that it's recording. Okay, do you want me to admit all then?
I guess this is it.
All right. Chris, do you want to spotlight yourself?
Well, no, let's just, as people come in, we'll see them and say hi, because this is the meet and greet part.
All right. I'm letting everyone in 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
This is fun. I've never been on a session with hosting with so many people. Look at this. Oh my God. I guess people got the link.
Thanks for allowing me to come in.
Nice to see you.
It's good to be had, man.
Hey, there's Bonnie.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, who said that?
Diane.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Look at this. This is good. This is a lot of folks coming in here.
Hi, Chris. This is Gabriella. Thanks.
Hi.
Hi.
How is everything?
Everything is good. I guess I don't see, you don't need to see me, right?
No. Well,
as long as I can see you.
It's up to you. That's the thing. Audiences have so many choices now.
I know. Yeah.
You can see or not be seen.
I'm okay.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these musicians here would agree that if they can see some people, then it's nice. And if you want to be one of those people or not.
I don't really mind. What I did is I actually made the connection to my big screen.
Oh.
So
yeah, see, you have all those options. You can be watching on multiple devices throughout your place of residence.
So the thing
you can be on big screens, small screens, portable screens.
Yeah.
Multiple screens. And tonight, actually, you can watch on YouTube and on Zoom.
I guess so. Yeah.
All those choices. You have
Chris,
gallery view. You have
Chris, it's Diane. Thank you for doing this. Chris,
hey, Diane,
thank you for organizing
tired.
this.
I say this is good. Yeah, it's so nice to. I haven't actually seen you, but I know that voice. Oh, there you are. Hey, Diane.
Well, thank you for doing it. Hey.
It's really cool what's happening, I have to say. So yeah, it's nice if performers can see some people that are actually visible, and even nicer if those people look like they're really enjoying it. And even nicer if it turns out then they're dancing, for example.
Of course.
That really gets, think about the live in-person situation when somebody's playing music and people are dancing. It inspires the performers big time.
Of course.
It's a mutual thing back and forth. The dancers inspire the musicians, and then the musicians inspire the dancers, and it's a beautiful thing. It happens a little bit like that online, but it's not quite as multi-dimensional, I have to say. It's kind of, well, it's 2.5 dimensional.
All right. I'm trying to find the video here.
Yeah. Look at this. It's nice to see everybody. Some of these people I haven't seen for over a year.
Yeah, no kidding.
Or more. Look at this. It's almost like a community. All these people dropping by. So we're going to take about 5 minutes just to kind of get settled in here, and then we'll start up at 7. And what does anybody want to contribute at this point? I would say if you have any memories of the Mayfair that you'd like to put in the chat, that would be really nice. Do people have access to chat? I hope.
Mhm.
Somebody in the audience, try putting something in the chat. Huh?
I ripped tickets and sold popcorn at the Mayfair Theater when we first came to Ottawa. It was a part-time job.
Oh my God, what memories. Lee
Yeah.
DeMarb, who programs the Mayfair now, but did work at the Bytown for many years also, claims that he can tell by the smell of the popcorn which theater he's in. Even with his eyes closed, he can tell. And he said even though they both use the exact same kind of popcorn, he could still tell which theater he was in. And why is it that movies and popcorn go together, Andre? Andre Gagne, you agree there's a direct connection between movies and popcorn.
Movies and popcorn.
Why
I think
is that?
It just is tossed through the ages like peanut butter and jelly, Abbott and Costello, Chris White and Andre Gagne. They're just things you don't separate.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Jekyll and Hyde. Maybe not Jekyll and Hyde.
Rosencrantz
and Guildenstern.
Yeah.
John and Paul.
Somebody had two dogs. They were planning to name them Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
But then they died. So Rosencrantz and Guildenstern were dead. I get it.
No, I think they decided to call them Salt and Pepper or something like that instead.
Oh, even better.
Something a little less complicated. So nice to see everybody here. Let's see a show of hands. Who's been to the Mayfair? I guess that's a silly question. Look at that. Now let's go to the next panel and ask again. Because I am seeing hundreds of people here. But yeah,
Chris,
you've been to the Mayfair.
Chris, I'm Kathy Gage. I'm on the top. And I grew up in Ottawa South on Glen Avenue. And every Saturday, I went with my cousins to the Mayfair with 10 cents. 5 cents to get in and 5 cents to buy junk food. I'm telling you, because my mother worked and she had no babysitter. This is such a fond memory for me. I am so honored to be here. I really, honestly, it is. It's
Kathy,
such a fond memory.
did you say every Saturday?
Yes. Every Saturday. Well, she had to do something with us.
Yeah.
So you know what? She did every Saturday, and it was 5 cents to get in and 5 cents for junk food. And sometimes I thought, well, maybe I'll just spend my 10 cents on junk food, but that didn't happen. So, you know what? That's what we did.
Those are powerful, Kathy. Those are powerful memories, are they not?
Oh, for me, they are. That's why I'm here tonight.
Yeah.
They're just so powerful because we didn't have much back there. I'm 72. We didn't have much back then. And this was, no kidding. My mother was a hairdresser on Bank Street, and my cousin's mother was at Tallmeyer's on Bank Street. And so
Tallmeyer's eventually became the Ottawa Folklore Center.
It did. Absolutely.
Right? And
did.
Arthur from the Folklore Center is here and will be performing tonight.
Yeah, it was.
A special song.
Yeah, it was so special for us. I mean, honestly, and it was just such a big time and on a Saturday, like it was my weekend. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've said enough.
Thanks for sharing that memory. Isn't that nice?
It is. I have fond memories of the Mayfair, and it was just, and I've been back since. I had seen some things, some other movies, but the Mayfair was, you just know that's where you were going to go on a Saturday. Anyway.
What other just in a couple of minutes left here, do we have any other fond memories of the Mayfair?
Yeah.
Magical memories?
I have a memory.
Is that you, Pat?
That's me. I have a memory of doing my photo shoot at the Mayfair for this CD.
Oh my gosh.
So there's the inside, you're in the seats. And show us the back there, Pat.
The back is the outside.
With your name on the marquee.
My name on the marquee, and that was not photoshopped.
Remind me again, Pat. I know you're playing tonight, but remind me the name of that particular album.
Take It to Heart.
Take It to Heart. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I'll do that song tonight.
Currently placing in the live auction.
Yes.
If I can add, it was the first place I ever saw a movie when I was a kid. And then I'm a co-writer for the movie Hot Knives, which is set in Ottawa. So I sat at the Black Squirrel across the street and helped put the marquee up the night before the premiere. So it was the first time I ever saw a movie, and the first time I ever had my first movie in it.
Are you saying you're not saying the Black Squirrel, are you? The Black
No, I sat because when I was a kid in the 70s, I'd see on like at after the last movie, they'd put out all of the things and pull out the ladder, right?
Yeah.
And
put up the movie for the next day, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when in 2018, when Hot Knives, A Slacker Odyssey premiered there, I sat at Black Squirrel until I saw the ladder. And when the ladder came out, I went over and said, "Can I take a picture of this?" And then when they started to do Hot Knives, I was like, "Can I ask you a favor?" And whoever was working said, "Do you want me to take you a picture of putting up your?" And I was like, "If you could." And they were like, "Fucking awesome." And I was like, "So sorry for swearing. My apologies."
It's
so
okay. Just go back a minute. Was this your movie you're saying, Hot Knives, or what?
I was a co-writer. It's Lee DeMar was actually the editor.
Okay.
And it's a Pete Monet production.
Yeah.
With Harry Knuckles.
Nice.
But in a different role, right? So it's kind of like a slacker. Remember slackers back in the 90s where everybody complained to us about being slackers? My concept was, imagine a slacker who's in his late 40s, but not living in his mom's basement. And that's the idea. And the review
that was the starting point.
Yeah, well, the review that was in Ottawa Life magazine said, and some friends had said to me, and it was actually, I work as a writer. It was a really well-written review because it finished off by saying, I don't, off the top of my head, and I'm proud of this, off the top of my head, I don't know what Mayor Jim Watson would think of this hipster flick, but Cheech and Chong would be proud. And a friend of mine said, because it's a stoner flick, a friend of mine said, is that a good review? I was like, well, given what we did, it's a pretty good review. If we were trying to do War and Peace, that would be a shit review.
Okay, so there we go.
I mean? Yeah.
Another connection with the Mayfair. I see people are still flowing in here, but let's get started in just a minute as people are still coming in. Yeah.
I want to say I read something in the chat, but I immigrated here from like Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, whatever, in '88. Co-founded the One World Film Festival in '89.
Nice.
Then good. Was overseas between 91, 95, and was back between that like 3 or 4 years then, but left in '98, came back 20 years later, like the Back to the Future. Just like that. It was like I left for 4 years and came back 20 years later. So '98 to 2018, came back. I'm on Seneca. We kept our place on Seneca. But I basically, in the last couple of years, I've been programming films, and obviously being the mother of, or whatever, co-founder, trying to bring things up to speed or something and keep things moving by programming at programming One World all over the city. But all volunteer action. We just pay for a coordinator. And
Sharon, just say one thing about one sentence. What is One World?
Yeah, I was going to ask.
One World Arts is the foundation organization, which is about global education and the arts, and it's going to be 50 years old next year.
That's the organization you started.
That's the foundation organization. I co-founded the One World Film Festival because they need some way to help fund One World Arts.
Oh, okay.
And I said, let's do a film festival about social justice, human rights, and the environment. And so that was co-founded in '89, and we just had our 30th anniversary like a year ago.
Congratulations! Yay! Okay, let's get into our concert here, and just a reminder, everybody, or Jason, what should we do? Turn everybody's microphone off. We want to. We don't want any inadvertent noises here. What's that?
I would suggest that, yeah, if that's okay with everyone.
Yeah, I guess
you can put things in the chat if you have an issue.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be inviting maybe some comments later on, but for the concert, I guess what I'll do, if I can find how to do so, is I'll mute everybody. And
Is Josh here tonight? Josh Stafford?
Yes, he'll be. Well, I don't know if he's here.
Okay.
I hope so. Okay. Actually, how do I mute everybody?
Do you want me to take care of that?
Do you have a way to do it, Jason?
Yeah, I'm just going to do it in...
We can all mute.
Okay. It's a cooperative effort here. First of all, everybody, I am Chris White. Thank you so much for being here, because everybody that's here is an example of somebody else that's supporting the Mayfair, believes in the Mayfair, wants the Mayfair to continue, and you're putting your money where your mouth is, for sure, and you're going to be well entertained in the bargain. So it's all a win-win-win. Remarkable community effort. I'm going to spotlight Greg Kelly for a minute if I can find him. Here we go. Hey, Greg. To say, Greg, on April 27th, you said, hey, Ottawa musicians maybe should do something to help the Mayfair. Right, Greg?
Yeah. I heard an interview on CBC Radio regarding the Port Theatre in Cornwall, and a photographer sold a bunch of his wares.
5 horses had fallen and 1 was dead. This document shows that those horses went more.
That's what we're talking about. Okay, anyway.
We're talking about dead horses. And he sold enough of his photograph of the Port Theatre to pay the rent for a couple of months, a few months. And I went, geez, I think the Mayfair needs some help.
Yeah.
Going through some tough times. So I contacted you and Pat and said, what do you think we do a little show?
And here we are, 19 days later. We have a little show. It's a big show, actually. It's a good show.
It's crazy.
And I think our next step here is that, Reed, we're going to see if you would play the video that Doreen Stevens created.
Yep, I'm good
for us. Yeah. Just to acknowledge the territory that we're on and give us some things to think about here. I got to say, it's so nice to see everybody. How's that looking, Reed? Should I be doing something here on my side?
No, I'm good. I'm just sharing now. I'm going to start it, so just let me know if you can't hear.
Oh, beautiful. Mm. So
we can almost smell it from here.
Isn't it nice and beautiful? So I'd like to acknowledge that my name is Doreen Stevens, and my spirit name was given to me by a sun dancer, and my spirit name is Anamitagasayudayang, and that's a clear water woman speaking from the heart. And look at a little yellow flower just flew onto me, so I have all the colors. And then I received my spirit colors. This just came above me right now, flew down from the trees here, and it's yellow, oh, beautiful. So I'm just going to acknowledge that there's colors here. I received some spirit colors as well too. And the color yellow represents the East. It's the light, it's kindness, joy, happiness, everything that we're experiencing like right now in this beautiful day at the fundraiser for the Mayfair Theater. So that's what I always say. And I do things naturally because they come to you naturally. The Creator has so many different gifts that he gives us so freely. And I'd like to give homage to all of that, and the people in the community too that share the music, the creative music that we're doing today, to acknowledge all those musicians that are out there giving all their efforts and making this fundraiser happen for this very, very important historic event. And I feel that's very important that we come together as one, which is Pejik and Algonquin in the community. So I'm smudging here with my eagle feather, and it was given to me by the Aborigines in Australia. And I give homage to that by giving honor to the prayers in the highest, acknowledging the creation, and Eagle Feather brings that, carries the prayers to the Creator in highest honor. So I'm honoring you today, and also I'm acknowledging the people of the Eastern Woodland. People of the Eastern Woodland are Mi'kmaq, Mo-Changé, Algonquin, Ojibwe, Cree, Abenaki. Well, Eastern Woodland. There's a lot of Eastern Woodland in Canada, but also we acknowledge all the other ancestors that are amongst us. The people from the Flint, those are the Mohawk people as well too. So we share all the community stories amongst ourselves, and right now it's specific that we acknowledge the unceded territory of the Algonquin people, and those are the Algonquins. And we are the keepers of the land. We have been there since time immemorial. So I'd like to welcome you on behalf of the Anishinaabe people of Kitikan-Zibi, Algonquin territory. Kichimigwech.
Yay! How nice. That was Doreen Stevens with that lovely message. And so here we are. This is the Save the Mayfair concert #1. Another one tomorrow at 2 p.m. right here on Zoom and YouTube. We're going to proceed here. I think we have Arthur McGregor queued up as promised. Arthur, would you like to join me somewhere?
I'm here.
Here,
are you there? Can you hear me?
And I don't know if you heard that story earlier, Arthur. There you are. Hi.
Hi.
Did you hear that story earlier about
which story?
Going to the Mayfair every?
Oh, Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many stories about the Mayfair. It's such an iconic thing in people's lives.
Yeah,
mine,
for sure.
Mine as well.
Well,
Absolutely.
you were so impressed that you wrote a song just only within the last couple of weeks, Arthur.
Yeah, finished it last Sunday morning just before writer's block, and played it Monday night to make sure that I could remember it, which of course I couldn't. But it's called the Mayfair.
Yeah, let's just talk about you. You were running the Folklore Center, which used to be Kalmeyer's.
Yep.
Right down a little bit further south on Bank Street.
Yeah, we did. I think we were there. I honestly, like, all the timelines are all messed up now. We were there about 10 years or something like that. And the Mayfair was like, so much happened there, and there were so many possibilities. Remember, we did a big uke thing. There's a movie put out called The Mighty Uke, and we had a showing of The Mighty Uke, and then we had Bug, Byton Ukulele Group, led a uke along. And I can't remember how many people we had, but more than 2 ukes at a time is just absolutely joyous. So it was great.
Yeah.
We had a concert there, had a couple of concerts there for sure. And a whole bunch of stuff. It was just such a great place, such a beautiful room. Not only could you see great movies, but there's all kinds of other stuff you had, all kinds of stuff. It was just and it still is, of course, a wonderful hall.
All right, a song.
Actually, I'm going to take my headphones off if you don't mind, so that I can, because I don't need to hear myself. I know exactly who I am talking to. Down on Bank Street, sunny side, there's a building known far and wide. It's called the Mayfair, and when you go inside, you're going to share in decades of history. It's been a very special place for me. We took the kids there when they were young. So many movies, so much fun. A drink and a popcorn for everyone. Remembering the times when we all shared this hall. It seems that COVID has thrown them a curveball. Can't pay the rent if you can't open your door. and closing down is the worst of our fears. We've joined together to help folks realize what'll happen if we lose the Mayfair's despise. What'll happen if this indie theater dies? When my business was just down the street, having the Mayfair so close was really neat. We ran concerts, some of them offbeat, and I once interviewed Sylvia Tyson there. What a treat. If it closes, old Ottawa South won't be complete. Pay the rent if you can't open your doors. And closing down is the worst of our fears. We've joined together to help folks realize what we'll lose with the Mayfair's demise. What'll happen if this indie theater dies? I got a photo from years ago of their old marquee advertising a show with the Celtic Rapscallions, who you might know, playing for the kids. We can't let shows like that go. Don't be discreet, shout about the need for a chunk of dough to keep the Mayfair on its feet, to keep the screens aglow. This is a sing-along part. Save the Mayfair, save the Mayfair, save the Mayfair, save the Mayfair. Figure out your chant. Save the Mayfair, save the Mayfair, save the Mayfair, save the Mayfair. I can't hear you.
Save the Mayfair.
Save the Mayfair.
Okay, everybody, let's show Arthur McGregor some applause. Come on, show some applause here. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Nicely done. That's a fantastic way to start this concert, Arthur.
Thanks.
Have you got another one before we move along?
I do, and it's kind of you could actually turn this into a movie, I think, which, you know, you never know where it's going to show, right? You never know when you need an indie theater to show your own movies. So this is called Drive the Prairies, and again, there's a singable chorus. It's really straightforward. If you can't get it first time around, it's going to come around 2 more times, so you'll... Hold on, let me just get my thumb pick. We love to drive across Saskatchewan. The roads and rails just go on and on. We love the yellow of the willow branches and miles of fenceless ranches. We love the stubble of the harvested grain and the promise of a welcome rain. We love to see the ducks land in the sloughs, the black mud that cakes your shoes. And we drive 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 all across the prairies. You can get that chorus. We love the endless Alberta sky, the evening sunset when it says goodbye, the prairie grasses in the early dawn, a silence that just seems to go on and on. River valleys that cut through the land, friendly folks so glad to lend a hand. The mountains we can see from miles away, a horizon that never seems to stray. And we drive 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 all across the prairie. Out of Ontario we leave the shield, the trees and rocks and rocks and trees and trees and rocks and rocks and trees. become vast wheat fields, open vistas of a prairie view. Coming back has been long overdue. From either way you can see Winnipeg, but the open roads just seem to beg me to put my foot on the accelerator and head towards a distant elevator. And we drive 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 all across the prairies. One more time on the chorus. And we drive 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 all across the prairies. Those beautiful prairies, those lovely prairies. Thank you very much, and thanks for showing up and supporting the Mayfair. I got to tell you, it's really important to a lot of people. I'm one. And thanks, Chris, and everyone for putting this together. It's absolutely brilliant.
It's a good thing, isn't it, Arthur? Would you like to introduce our next contestant? I mean, our next performer. That would be, if you'd like to introduce John Carroll, what would you like to say about him, Arthur?
John Carroll. I don't know what to say about John Carroll. He's a fine singer-songwriter. I've been playing around. I actually been playing guitar in a lot of places as opposed to playing around. So let's hear John Carroll. John, are you there?
I'm right here. Can you hear me okay?
There he is. He's emerging from the darkness. Let's hear for John Carroll, everybody.
Hi,
John, how's it going?
Good. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah, it's good. I'm happy to be performing as part of this fundraiser. I love the Mayfair Theater. I take my kids there it's one of the few places in town where you can, on a reasonable budget, have a really great time. They have a Saturday morning cartoon thing where they do 3 hours of curated cartoons every month or so in the summer, from I think spring till fall. And they have an all-you-can-eat sugary cereal buffet, which I think is the most brilliant thing that's ever happened. But they do 3 hours of curated cartoons from like the 40s to the 90s, and people show up in their pajamas. It's great, and it's such an awesome place. And I've seen many great movies there. I go there all the time. And I take my kids there all the time, and it's such a great alternative to the Cineplex hellscape that dominates movies. So I'm the first song I'm going to play. I'm going to play two songs, as everyone is, and the first song I'm going to play is a little bit connected in that I love kung fu movies, and I've seen quite a few good ones at the Mayfair. And my son took me for my birthday to see the premiere of the Ip Man 4 movie that came out last year. So anyways, I mentioned Ip Man in this song, but I won't talk too long because I know how easy it is for the clock to run up on these things. So here we go. Tired of fleeing every threat, playing scenes over in my head, humiliation at the bully's hand. I wanna be a kung fu man. Well, I wish I weren't so weak and frail, afraid to even go and check the mail. I wish I knew a flying scissor kick. I'm so afraid sometimes it makes me sick. I wanna break through bricks with my bare hand. I wanna be a kung fu man. I see them coming and I start to run. So many of them and I'm only one. But I could beat them all with just one hand if I was a kung fu man. Well, I'd help the helpless and help the weak, and give them all the strength they seek to face the brutish, cruel, and tough, and stand up and say they had enough. I wanna break through bricks with my bare hand. I wanna be a kung fu man. Yeah, well, a kung fu man, he don't say much, but he'll knock you out with just his touch. A 1-inch punch and a lightning fist, it's futile to resist. Just like a Ip Man or Bruce Lee, I go anywhere that suited me. Just like Jet Li or even Jackie Chan, I wanna be a kung fu man. Well, you never know who I might come across. A bad cop or a mob boss, thugs and dirty politicians too would be no match for my kung fu. I wanna break through bricks with my bare hand. I wanna be a kung fu man. I wanna be a kung fu man. Thank you.
That's John Carroll, everybody. Thanks. John, tell us about that instrument you're playing.
Oh, this is just.
Can you hold it up to the camera a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. I have my because I haven't had any need to take them out of my house. I have my stage lights down here, so it might be a little dark. This is a what's called a resophonic guitar, and this was a design of guitar that was made in the mid 1920s by a Slovakian immigrant to California named John Dopiera, who was trying to solve the problem at the behest of a vaudeville performer named George Beauchamp of how to make the guitar louder, because this was pre-electrification. And so John Dopiera very ingeniously came up with this design using thin spun aluminum cones that rested underneath the bridge of the guitar, and helped to create a sort of a natural acoustic speaker that presented projected the sound out really loudly, and solved the problem for about 10 years or so until electric guitars were invented. But he started, it was called the National Guitar Company. They started together, and this is a remake of one of them. This is made by another company called National, but it's the National Resophonic Company. Sorry about that little bump there. But anyways, these are really interesting guitars, and they're kind of a hobby of mine. I have a few of them, and I love them because they suit the styles of playing that I do really well. But when I first started playing them, I was performing on the street a lot, so you needed to be loud to get it across. So anyways, yeah, that's the
not
story.
Just volume, John, also some really nice tone, which we're about to hear in this next song. Lovely tone.
Yeah, really, a really sort of unique. I think when he invented it, he characterized it as like a flowing river. Was how John Dopiera described the sound that came out of these guitars. So anyways, I'll play another song. These are some newer songs. This is a new song. I've just recorded an album that I'm finishing up next week and putting out. So I'm still really stuck on these new tunes. And this is called Winter Bird, and I wrote this in the fall, kind of thinking about maybe some of the redeeming properties of the cold Canadian winter.
How come I can't hear anything? Oh, there.
Yeah, when everyone's in by the fireside, some hibernate while others hide. And the nights are long and the days are shorter, and they wait for time to turn a corner. so cold my lungs might freeze. See the cold black crow in a naked tree, and it puts my heart at ease. Yeah, well, I held on like permafrost, tried to recover what was lost, scavenging the falling snow. Feathers quiver and December winds blow. And the air's so cold my lungs might freeze. See the cold black crow in the naked tree, and it puts my heart at ease. In a twisted branch in the pale sky, and I can't help feel held still beneath the blanket of white that a heart is bound to heal. I know the spring sun will come collect, and the rain will wash and resurrect. We'll put our heavy coats away again after this frozen quiet time to mend. And the air's so cold my lungs might freeze. I see the cold black crow in a naked tree, and it puts my heart at ease. The nights are long and the days are shorter, and they wait for time to turn a corner.
Show him some love, everybody. That's John Carroll. That's John Carroll. 2 R's, 2 L's. John, two things. Tell us how to find out about your upcoming album, and also please say a few words about Pat Moore.
Happily. My upcoming album, I'm almost finished recording. You can check it out on my website, which is johncarrollmusic.com, or you can find me on Facebook, where I say a lot of strange things all the time. So that's and I always talk about it every day. I talk about my album because I want people to buy it. So you can check that out. And the next performer is someone that I've known for over 20 years now, and I first met on Wednesday nights at Rasputin's, and I'd hear her play and sing, and she was a great singer and player and songwriter. And then I found out she was an awesome bass player and a really cool person. And she's one of the hosts of the Saturday morning show on CKCU. CKCU and the Mayfair are my two favorite things about Ottawa. And she's one of the hosts. The Saturday morning show is amazing, and she hosts every month. And she also has lots of great records. She does everything. What do you call that person? What's a Renaissance? She's a Renaissance lady. So put your hands together for Pat Moore, everybody.
Thank you so much, John. Wow, I loved your songs. It was beautiful. I always love to hear John Carroll. You can catch him at the Lafayette in normal days and other places. Hey, everybody. It's really great to be here. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Pat. Thanks for being here.
You're very welcome.
I love the fact that album of yours, just show us one more time for people that came in a bit late. It's behind you there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
That's you at the Mayfair with your name on the marquee.
So that was a while ago too, and they were just gracious enough to actually put my name on the marquee, so I didn't have to Photoshop it, and went in and did all the whole photo shoot for the album in there. And the album is called, so first of all, I'll just say that the reason why I did that was because it is such an amazing theater, and it is so beautiful, and I just wanted to have a little piece of it for myself, so that's how I did that. So now here's my chance to give back. Okay? So I did actually put some of those albums in the silent auction, which people should go and check out the silent auction if they get a chance. Mm-hmm. So I thought, trying to figure out what songs I would do tonight, I decided, I might as well do the title track from that album. And I think you can actually imagine that there is a bit of a story to it. I could see I could see this in a film. I could see a film around the idea. It's called Take It to Heart, and it hopefully goes like this. I'm just going to take that off so I don't run into it. Take it to heart. I should have never left your side. Should have had faith in our romance and put aside my foolish pride. I'll take it to heart. Believe me when I say that the embers of our love can burn strong as yesterday. Two glasses in the parlor, lipstick smudged on one. Panic graced my heart as I figured what you'd done. I jumped to conclusions, said things I'm sorry for, made bitter accusations, walked out and slammed the door. Take it to heart. You know I treat you right. Put your arms around me, baby, and once again just hold me tight. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. This is where you'd imagine John Carroll playing some slide. Da, 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 da. This loneliness is too much. I've suffered sleepless nights. Take me back, my darling. I swear I'll treat you right. Without your tender kisses and the magic of your touch, my days and nights are dark, dear. Haven't I suffered enough? Take it to heart. I should have never left your side. Should have had faith in our romance and put aside my foolish pride. Oh, take it to heart. Believe me when I say that the embers of our love can burn strong as yesterday.
That's Pat Moore, everybody. Isn't that nice? Way to go, Pat.
Thank you so much.
And Pat, one thing that, of the many things John mentioned that you're known for, I don't know if he mentioned your jewelry making, but I just did get an update.
Even know.
I got an update from Ande Gagne that your albums are now in the online auction, and also some earrings that you made. Is that right, Pat?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
They're always really popular.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I made this necklace too. You can't really see it, but it's kind of a neat combination of silver. But the earrings are a kind of cool copper with a mesh of brass applied to the top of them with silver solders, and then you get a bit of color in there too. So yeah, they're kind of fun, funky.
Okay. At some point, we'll put the auction link in the chat for everybody. But meanwhile, Pat, I think you probably have another song.
I do have another song. Again, really hard to decide what to do, but I wanted to pick something that kind of had a bit of a feeling of, I don't know, a bit of, even when things are down, it can be okay. And that's sort of what this song is about. I did not write this song. It was written by Paul Overstreet, who was a big Nashville writer. And it was, I believe, first recorded by Keith Whitley and then later on by Alison Krauss. So I'm going to take my earphone out and play this song for you. It's called It Ain't Nothing. My boss's son, and it makes for a real long day. When the day is finally done, I'm facing 40,000 cars on the interstate, feeling lower than a well-digger's shoes, knee deep in a mess of blues. But those blues just fade away when I hear my baby say, oh, it ain't nothing, a little bit of love won't fix. It ain't nothing but a scratch, a little bit of love can't stitch. It ain't nothing, a little bit of love won't heal. Your love makes me feel, no matter what hell life brings, it ain't nothing. It was written all over her face, she was about to climb the walls. Said you gotta get me out of this place, 'cause even Cinderella got to go to the ball. If you multiply hell times 3, that's what this day's been like for me. I said, now baby, we'll do the town, don't let it get you down. No, it ain't nothing, a little bit of love won't fix. It ain't nothing but a scratch, a little bit of love can stitch. It ain't nothing, a little bit of love won't heal. Your love makes me feel, no matter what hell life brings, it ain't nothing, it ain't nothing, no, it ain't nothing. That's It Ain't Nothing, written by Paul Overstreet. Thanks so much.
That's Pat Moore, everybody. We're going to jump over right now to Andre Gagne with some updates. Andre, people want to know what this online auction is all about.
Man, I got to unmute myself. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thank you to everybody tuning in either here on Zoom or on YouTube in support of the amazing Mayfair Theater. We're going to go very shortly to Lee, clips that Lee filmed regarding the theater and some questions I asked him. But first, Chris, do you know what year the Mayfair Theater actually opened?
Well, I could do the math, I think, because I heard that next year it's going to be 90 years old. So what would that be? Let's see. The Mayfair opened in
1932. 1932. And I think the theater actually has like a print or of the actual newspaper article of the theater, and the first film that it was playing was The Blue Danube. It was actually opened by Fred Robertson, who was a retailer from Almont. Adult admission prices back in 1932 were 15 cents. 15. Can't get a Mayfair membership for 15 cents these days, but $7. $7 is still pretty good.
Still a good value, yeah.
Yeah, $12 for a membership gets you $7 for a movie. You can actually bid on a Mayfair membership, a year-long Mayfair membership right now in the online auction, which I'm gonna pop into the chat. But looking at our GoFundMe at the moment, Chris, we are now over 50% of our GoFundMe goal.
Yay.
Awesome, awesome. What we're trying to do, folks, is we would like to hit maybe $7,000 tonight.
What are we at now, Andre?
5,360. So that's not that much, right? That's not that
This is achievable, yeah.
This is achievable. This is achievable. So right now, I'm gonna. So we prior to this, we chatted with Lee, who's one of the owners of the theater and also an independent filmmaker himself,
and programs the films, Andre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you know that, if you've ever been to the theater, you know that there's really is something for everybody. You know, you've got your cult films, you've got, you know, the current Oscar films. There's just so much going on. Now, the three films that Lee's going to mention in this clip right now, we've got Raging Bull. Taxi Driver was a big film for Lee. And I believe Goodfellas as well. Now there's a running theme between all of these movies. They're all directed by the same filmmakers, of course, Martin Scorsese. Yeah, so I don't think I have the ability at the moment to share screen. So if one of our fine tech people can get me onto that, and we will find out about Lee's first experience in the theater. Mine was I had just moved back to Ottawa, and at that point in time, the theater was doing print flyers, and I had actually seen one, and it was advertising that if you bought a membership, and this is I think still true, and maybe somebody from the theater can correct me if I'm wrong, but if you bought a membership, you got a free movie every month on something called Saturday Night Cinema, where they didn't tell you what film was playing, and it was normally like close to midnight on a Saturday night, and you would get that free with your membership. And not me doing the math, I'm like, dude, that's like if I pay $12 for my Mayfair membership, I get 3 free movies even if I don't go. Now, of course, I did go. But the movie that I saw was this really crazy movie about a ginormous alligator living in the sewers, eating people, called Alligator, which, you know, as you would title it. And it was in a theater full of people who just really loved crazy cult movies, and they were shouting at the screen, and it was just an awesome experience to be in a movie theater that was that interactive. And of course, the first time I walked into the Mayfair Theater, I'm like, this looks like the Muppet Show theater. All you need is Statler and Waldorf up in the balconies, and you would have you. And Lee has said that he's attempted to maybe purchase some. But anyways, I'm just going to see if I've got a share screen ability, and we will see what Lee's first experience was in the Mayfair Theater.
All right. What was your first experience like for you at the Mayfair Theater? Welcome to the Mayfair Theater. I'm alone in this cinema during our 4th COVID lockdown. And I have a few questions I'd like to try to address. What was my first experience for me at the Mayfair Theater coming here? I imagine it was 1988 was my first time coming here. I was, 14? No, I was 16 years old. I was in grade 10. My drama teacher told me about the Mayfair Theater and the Bytown Theater. And at first I wasn't so attracted to sort of new foreign language films or documentaries, which I would later become attracted to. At first it was rep house movies. A lot of films I'd watch at home, classic films like Scorsese's films, Mean Streets, Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, I could come to the Mayfair and see them on the big screen. Movies like Deer Hunter. Actually, every time Taxi Driver played here, I would come see it in high school, and I'd bring my friends. And it's fun to think back now on those films. I was more familiar with them on the big screen than I was on home video watching them, because I'd always come see here at the Mayfair. Mayfair for me was maybe the Mayfair made me fall in love with classic American cinema. Classic, sort of maybe attracted to the new wave of American cinema of the 70s. Seeing movies like Airplane, and then there was a few films, cult films that played here, like The Legend of the Overfiend, which is an anime feature film, which was really creepy and perverted. I remember taking my film studies professor, Teresa Rowett, and I came to see The Legend of the Overfiend here in a sold-out theater, and I don't know. There's a lot of monster dicks in that movie, and seeing that with my film professor, I thought was pretty cool. What else would play here? Liquid Metal. I remember Liquid Sky. Seeing this trippy music film, Liquid Sky. I don't even remember what that film's about. It's so weird, and I think you have to be on LSD to really enjoy it. I came here, there was no one at the Mayfair Theatre to see Liquid Sky. It was the night the Toronto Blue Jays won the World Series, and we had no idea the World Series was even on television until we left the Mayfair and the streets. People were honking their horns. It was an exciting night for everyone in the world. But more exciting for me and my friend who were watching Liquid Sky at the Mayfair. The Killer was a wild movie to see at the Mayfair. John Woo's The Killer. What would happen, you would bring pop guns. People brought cap guns to the Mayfair. And every time when Chow Yun-fat got into a shootout, people would run up and down the aisles, here and there, shooting at the screen, their cap guns. It was really exciting. I remember one time lining up outside to come into the Mayfair, and there was people on the roof across the street above where House of Targ is now, and people had their cap guns and were shooting at people in line. That was a thrill. So those are some of my early memories of coming here to the Mayfair. I hope to see you all very soon, and I hope you're all doing safe.
Wow. So what we learned there was that Lee valued cinema over Canada's only baseball team. Well, maybe not at that time, but now only baseball team winning the World Series.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Well, we have 2 more clips from Lee to pepper out the evening, and 3 more tomorrow, including, Chris, the infamous Tom Cruise story.
All right.
We're gonna make you wait for that. So check in with me in a little bit. Meanwhile, go to our GoFundMe, go to our auction, and support this amazing venue.
Yes. Well said, Andre Gagne. Yay. Hooray. And again, thanks everybody for being here. Michael and Jody, Ball and Chain, what do you think? Do you want to maybe favor us with some music here?
We did. Now we're ready and able.
So, okay.
Nice to see you. Ball and Chain.
Long live the Mayfair. We're going to sing a song that I just wrote. This is a debut public performance of a new song of mine. And it's based on a joke. And it goes like this. There's a Zen hot dog stand. The guy goes up to the Zen hot dog stand and he says, "Can you make me one with everything?" And then, so the guy makes him a hot dog and he gives him with everything on it, and he gives it to him. And the guy gives him, he says, "That'll be $2.50, please." The guy gives him $5 and he stands there, and the guy takes the $5 and he says, "Well," he says to the guy in the Zen hot dog stand, "What about my change?" And the guy says, "Change comes from within." So this is my little song called Change Comes From Within, and it's a pep talk. It's a pep talk for keeping a positive attitude, and we'll get all through this, and everything will be fine. Everything will be just fine. So this is called Change Comes From Within. 1, 2, 3, 4. you see is what you get. No, you ain't seen nothing yet. You gotta lift the head on top of your head. Live it a try, what the heck. You gotta look up and out, not down, and then you gotta look where you're going, not where you've been. Learn to take life on the chin, and you know change comes from within. Every day's a new day. You can choose a different way. It's your life, and come what may, you're the one who gets to say. You gotta look up and out, not down, and then you gotta look where you're going, not where you've been. Learn to take life on the chin, and you know change comes from within. Change comes from, change comes from within. I'll play there, Michael. Change comes from within. On the Zen masters say, on the Zen masters say, on the Zen masters say, change comes from within. What you see is what you get. No, you ain't seen nothing yet. You gotta lift the head on top of your neck. Give it a try, what the heck. And if you look up and out, not down, and then look where you're going, not where you've been, you'll learn to take life on the chin. And you know change comes from within. Change comes from, change comes from within. Oh, dear.
Yay!
Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's an awesome new song, Jody. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Way to go. Way to go. Nicely done. So if you would play another one,
Yep.
and then tell us a little bit about Katrina Sturton. Not sure if you know Katrina, but
I have no idea who that is. Sorry.
well, you're going to find out soon. But anyway, what do you have in the meantime? What are you thinking?
We have a song that we learned from Caleb Clowder. Caleb with a C, Clowder with a K. He's from Portland, Oregon, and we're a big fan of his. He's a fantastic mandolin player, musician, all-around musician, and he writes these great tunes that sound like they're old, but they're original tunes. So this is called My Time Is Gonna Come. So this is kind of another uplifting tune about, everything's gonna be fine. But it's a love song, though. Here we go. Oh, wait, here, let's try it again. I don't know, I've been told, sparkle like gold when you roll. My time is gonna come. Oh, my time is gonna come. Oh, me, oh, my. Oh, my time is gonna come. Well, it's an uphill climb, but I run all the way. 'Cause every little dog is gonna have his day. My time is gonna come. Oh, my time is gonna come. Oh, me, oh, my. Oh, my time is gonna come. Oh, yeah. one kind thing I ask of you. Pretty little boy, won't you say I do? My time is gonna come. Oh, my time's gonna come. Oh, me, oh, my. Oh, my time's gonna come. Oh, yeah. There's more than one, more than two, more pretty boys in the world than you. My time is gonna come. Oh, my time is gonna come. Oh, me, oh, my. Oh, my time's gonna come. I don't know, I've been told, sparkle like gold when you roll. My time is gonna come. Oh, my time is gonna come. Oh, me, oh, my. Oh, my time is gonna come. Oh, me, oh, my. Oh, my time is gonna come. Thanks a lot, everybody. Let's keep Mayfair Theater alive. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, we're going to do a little show of hands here, whether your camera is on or not. Raise your hand if you agree with me that we're so lucky to have musicians like this in our community. It's really, really awesome. We're so lucky. And here they all joined together to support this cause, and you're here. Yeah, I'm seeing hands. I'm seeing virtual hands. Applause. Way to go, everybody.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're so fortunate.
So much fun.
Michael and Jody, I don't know if we want to put you on the spot any further with regard to Katrina, but I could tell you a little bit about Katrina.
I'd love to
go
learn.
ahead.
Yeah,
Well-
tell me all about her.
Katrina learned how to play harmonica when she was still in high school from Larry Mutham, Larry the Bird. Yeah.
Hey.
And that had a major, major influence. She went on to do a whole bunch of other cool things, including working for Dolly Parton for a program called the Imagination Library that distributes books to children 6 and under, one book a month. They've distributed over 100 million books to kids 6 and under, mailed to their home for people to read to the kids. Isn't that an excellent program?
Amazing.
And
So,
Chris, might I add, helped inspire. It wasn't a band that helped inspire a movie that I saw at the Mayfair Theater.
oh yeah. Let's get Katrina in here and let's talk about Scott Pilgrim, the movie that has music in it by Plumtree the band, of which Katrina, you were a member, playing bass in the band Plumtree out of Halifax, correct? Are you hearing us okay, Katrina? I can hear you. Yeah, I think, is that working okay? We're not hearing you all that well.
Is that better now?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. I forgot I had a microphone.
Plumtree. We just mentioned the name. Isn't that
Memory
fun that you were
lane.
in that band?
It was really fun. Yeah, it was a great time in bands and music.
Yeah. What is capturing your interest these days, Katrina?
COVID is very interesting.
Oh, really?
And
I've heard about that.
I find myself paying attention to it. Hopefully not an over amount, but a reasonable amount. And then I've just been learning to draw online. So I'm learning Adobe Illustrator and then also Banjo. I'd say Banjo and drawing are probably the two things I'm really excited about right now.
You're working on learning the banjo?
I am, yes.
Nice. And drawing. Nice.
Yeah.
You've established a reputation as a one-person performer, a one-person band.
Yeah, I like to do a few things at once.
Yeah, that's for sure. For example?
Drums and violin and harmonica and now animation, like switching around animations. And
While performing.
Yeah.
While performing, yeah.
Yeah.
What are you going to do now, Katrina?
I was gonna play some banjo for everyone. Atmospheric banjo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my plan.
Do you want to say? Do you want to say anything about the Mayfair?
Well, I did remember that I think I went on a date with someone I really liked in high school, and it was really exciting and memorable. Go to a movie. It was a really formative memory. But yeah, I think just having spaces like that. I also really love history, and having spaces like that is also really important.
As Andre was saying, going back to 1932.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'd love to hear some atmospheric banjo.
Okay.
You're actually looking a little backwards. I don't know if you care.
It's.
You don't care. We don't care.
I have a daytime show tomorrow and a nighttime show today, and the nighttime show is a little more mysterious.
Can't hear very well.
Nice.
Thank you.
Your audio somehow faded out a bit again. I'm not sure why.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I'm not in Ottawa right now. I'm actually in Nova Scotia, and there's a lockdown here, which meant I couldn't go to a music store. So I just have everything held together with duct tape, like my mic is taped to the stove. And
do you have any volume? Can you increase your volume a bit though, easily?
Yes.
If not, it's okay.
I think maybe should I start gently to begin with, and if it's very loud, you can let me know.
Yeah, that's sounding good though now.
Okay. I was trying to step up my game for this. I've not been having the I prioritized mobility over pristine sound, and now I'm trying to catch up on the game. So yeah, I had one other song that I was going to share, and just a little reminder that there is the auction. That's exciting. So
What do you mean? You can create these videos and display them on your screen. How nice.
Yeah, with my toes. Yeah, this is a song that I didn't write, but it's written by another Katrina and the Waves. I used to think maybe you love me. Now I know that it's true. But I don't want to spend my whole life just waiting for you. And every time I go for the mailbox, gotta hold myself down. 'Cause I just can't wait till you write me you're coming around. 'Cause I'm walking on sunshine. Ooh, I'm walking on sunshine. Ooh, I'm walking on sunshine. Ooh, don't it feel good, don't it? And I used to think maybe you love me, but I know that it's true. But I don't want to spend my whole waiting for you.
Yeah, that's Katrina Sturton. Way to go. You're in Nova Scotia, Katrina? You're in Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining in. Thanks for sharing your memories of the Mayfair. I'm going to go over to Greg Kelly now just to say, hey, Greg, how are you? And what's up?
Oh,
Here you
no,
are.
thanks, Katrina. That was wonderful. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. It's pretty incredible what's going on. I don't know. What do you want me to say? I know something about Don Bray.
Yeah, Don Bray is up next.
Yeah.
Greg Kelly, you're recording an album with Don, so
yeah,
you've had a
Don's,
chance to hear his music, and he's had a
engineering.
chance to hear yours.
Yeah, he's engineering my album and producing, and it's really exciting. It's coming together. It's coming together. It's only about 5 years behind schedule, but we're coming together.
In spite of the conditions.
In spite of the conditions. And Don is an amazing slide player, an amazing songwriter. And he's not a bad guy either, you know. He doesn't suck.
Here, let's put him on screen here so that he can. There he is. Hey, Don.
Hello.
Yay.
What you going to play, friend?
What am I going to play?
That's what I just asked you.
Well, I don't have any theater songs. I'm a recent immigrant to Ottawa, and so I've only been to the Mayfair once, and I don't remember the movie I saw, but I remember when I walked in, I smelled the popcorn, and I thought, oh my God, this is the real deal.
There's the popcorn theme again.
Yeah. So I find as I get older, I write more and more songs about my past. And in grade 7, there was a girl who sat behind me, and she used to pull my hair and bug me all the time. It was driving me nuts, so I mentioned it to my mother. And my mother said, oh, that means she likes you. Which sort of changed my entire view of the universe. And I was thinking about her name was Mona. That year, I left in the middle of the school year, and we walked home the last night, so it was exciting. And so this is called Mona's Song. Sat behind me in grade 6, pulled my hair, played your tricks. I remember feeling something funny. There was that stirring in the heart. I grew up in my way. Time goes on, I didn't stay. Pulled out east to the future. Stirring in the heart, and you're probably in Alberta, unless you met some soul from the States, or a bounder from Australia. There's a million ways to find our grace, or run away from that stirring in the heart. Won't be long, I'll make my way. Everything ends, they say. Now I'm more memory than wishes. For that stirring in the heart. And it's so, so bittersweet. The love we come to meet. Ways that we retreat. On that day the lights go out, I'll be wasting time, no doubt, feeling restless and uncertain. Holding to that stirring in the heart. And you're probably in Alberta, if your heart still beats the tune to your song. But regardless of location, there's a million ways we can go wrong and run away from that stirring in the heart. I hope you didn't run away.
Don Ray, everybody. What a beautiful sounding guitar, Don.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and maybe something about the way you played it as well might have something to do with it.
It's a relationship.
They're probably related.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to go, Don.
Thank you. So, I'm thinking with COVID and everything, this is a time when therapists are more important than ever. I think they should be an essential service.
Mm-hmm.
Along with the old Vietnamese lady who does my fingernails. But anyway, so I know there's a technical term for when an analyst falls in love with his analyst, and I'm not sure what the term is, but really, who doesn't love their therapists? And so this is a song about.
Oh, that's transference. That's what it is, Don.
Oh, that's the word.
Transference.
Thank you. So this is a song about my therapist and I. And it's called Things of Beauty. I was having me a daydream. My therapist and I was sitting in her office where I'm loath to tell a lie. Me in the throes of madness, her in an LBD. Oh, truth told, a scant bikini, my therapist and me. We were deep in conversation about life and all that shit. As hard as I was trying, I couldn't make no sense of it. Should I sit just like the Buddha, come again like Jesus Christ? Well, it seemed so overwhelming, but she smiled and that was nice. And we're all things of beauty, hiding in this blood and bone. We're all things of wonder, trying to make our way. As I laid bare my emotion to that ever-patient shrink, I was drawn back to the old days where I'd rather take a drink. Then she showed me something wondrous, something deeper than the sky. And it hit me like a right hook, and I ceased to wonder why. And we're all things of beauty, hiding in this blood and bone. We're all things of wonder, trying to make our way. Now I really can't remember for the weary life of me what she held up in that moment like some shining prophecy. But I trust her breasted wisdom even if in fantasy. And I'm left here that it's love that sets us free. And we're all things of beauty, hiding in his blood and bones. We're all things of wonder, trying to make our sweet and lonely, lost and lusty, broken winged way.
An absolutely beautiful song there from you, Don Bray. Way to go.
Amazing.
Yeah, totally amazing. Andre Gagne,
Yes,
I think you
sir.
have some updates for us.
I definitely have some updates for us. Okay, folks, we are just under $100 away from making it halfway through our silent auction goal. So a bunch of new items just appeared on the silent auction. We've mentioned Pat Moore's albums. Let me tell you about a couple of other things that you can get in the silent auction. There are memberships to the Mayfair Theater itself. There is a hand-woven satchel, some really amazing jewelry, a seed to sausage box of cured delights. And if you folks have ever had seed to sausage, you'll know that stuff is amazing. Ukulele lessons with Christine Graves, who will be performing later on. And I just tossed up a custom piece of artwork made by myself to possibly your specifications. So pop onto the silent auction and bid. Over on the GoFundMe, Chris, we need about, let's see, $1,300 to make our 7,000 goal that we hope to hit by this evening. Obviously, the GoFundMe and the auction will be going on for tomorrow's shows as well, and the rest of the week. Now, Chris, I also have a special little message from Ottawa's mayor, Jim Watson.
Really?
Yeah. Mr. Watson did a little retweet of this event earlier on in the week and sent a message wishing everyone who's performing, as well as organizers, luck, but also said that he used to, and I read, "Thanks for doing this. I used to live a few blocks from the theater and loved its charm and ambience." So there you go. From the mayor.
Fantastic. There's our update. So we'll look forward to the auction, rising higher in total, and also the GoFundMe campaign.
Exactly. Now, Chris, I have a little bit of Mayfair trivia for you before we go to Lee's next quip here. Did you know that Katrina's song actually brought me all the way back to the 80s, Walking on Sunshine. But back in the 80s, the Mayfair canceled a planned showing of the film Videodrome when the Ottawa police threatened the theater with obscenity charges. How about that?
Okay, there's a fun film fact.
Yeah, exactly. Who knew? Who knew? But it was in 1981 that the Mayfair adopted a rep cinema format and was then purchased by Keith Davidson. Now we're gonna hear from Lee here on his most memorable night in the theater. I'm pretty sure it wasn't that Videodrome evening. For those who go to the Mayfair, you know that there are so many. I mean, the Mayfair just doesn't do movies. They bring in special guests. There is they have done the Oscars where people have actually dressed up like they're going to the real Oscars and play it on the screen. One of my favorite things that the Mayfair does is a Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I think maybe Chris admit for the first time here that I dressed up in a French maid outfit with fishnets and heels to do the time warp one Halloween night, probably about 5 years ago. I think I've wiped all evidence from the internet of that If you're looking for a modern day cult flick, check out The Room, which I think maybe Lee can tell us this later on, but I think it's breaking the Guinness Book of World Records with how many months this film is screened successively. Obviously, with COVID,
a film that is popular because it's so bad.
Yeah, one of the best worst movie perhaps, but it's another one of these audience participation films where if you go to the Mayfair, you can throw plastic spoons around the audience. That's an amazing experience.
Right up there with the cap guns.
Exactly. Now Lee's gonna Lee's gonna mention some his memorable experiences. He's gonna talk about Indiana Jones, I believe. Yeah. Now the Mayfair does this thing called the Indiana Jones barbecue, where they pair with, I believe, Quinn's next door, and do a special barbecue, and they play all 3 indie films in a row, which is a really fun experience. Now another amazing trilogy, the Back to the Future trilogy, and Lee's going to talk about having to explain time travel to his children. Right, and we may have to, and Crispin Glover, who is George McFly in the first Back to the Future film, was brought to the Mayfair Theater in probably one of the strangest nights at the movies I have ever. Actually, I'll say it. It was the strangest night at the movies I've ever attended. Google Crispin Glover, David Letterman, if you want to see something special. Okay, so let's fire up this clip from Lee. Oops, hold on. Let me get the screen ready, and we will hear about one of his experiences here. Okay, now we got it.
Thanks again for doing this for me, Andre. Question number 2. What is your most memorable nights here at the? What is your most memorable night here at the Mayfair Theater? Geez. You know, not a night, but an afternoon. I remember taking my kids to see. I've taken my kids to see so many wonderful films here at the Mayfair. Every time there was an Indiana Jones triple bill barbecue, I would take my kids, and they would sit through 3 movies in the afternoon. The Back to the Future trilogy. That is probably one of the best things I've ever had to explain to my kids as a parent. I had this conversation with the children driving to the Mayfair. I remember shooting down the Queensway, going to see Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3 on 35, all presented on 35 millimeter at the Mayfair with the kids. And I slowed down a little bit because I said to the kids, I said, do you guys know what time travel is? And they all said, well, no, Dad. Tell us about time travel. And that has got to be the best conversation I ever had with my children. Probably the best time I ever felt being a parent, explaining time travel to children and just watching their minds melt as I explained the idea, this science fiction idea of traveling through time. That time was imagine time as as a line, and you can jump into the future, into the past. And they were so excited to see the movie after that. Maybe the best night, I got to say, my 35 millimeter prints, our 35 millimeter prints of Back to the Future, we have Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3, and Who Framed Roger Rabbit, all on 35 millimeter, because there was a collector in Los Angeles who worked for Emblem and worked for Steven Spielberg, and he owned these prints that were given to him by Steven Spielberg, and when he passed, his family called me, and they donated the prints to the Mayfair. So we own Steven Spielberg's old prints of all 4 Robert Zemeckis' films, Back to the Future 1, 2, 3, and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But my best night here, I was probably sitting in the front row right here. We were showing The Wizard of Gore, Herschel Gordon Lewis's 1974 horror film classic, a gore fest, The Wizard of Gore, starring Ray Sager. And I love this movie. I've always loved it. And it was the first time I'd see it on 35 millimeter. And and I knew Ray Sager, who played the Wizard of Gore. He was living in Toronto. I knew Herschel Gordon Lewis, who directed the film. He told me Ray Sager was living in Toronto. I found Ray Sager just in time to make a movie called Smash Cut, put Ray Sager in my movie. Ray Sager became a buddy of mine. So I said to him, I'm showing the Wizard of Gore. Why don't you come up to Ottawa and present it? And he came to Ottawa and introduced the movie. And he told me, when the movie started, he sat down beside me here and said to me, keep in mind, this movie was made in 1974. He leaned over to me and said, Lee, I've never seen The Wizard of Gore. And so it was the first time Ray watched the movie, and he watched it with me, and he would laugh throughout and lean to me, and he'd whisper all kinds of secrets about how they made the movie. At one point, there's a mirror, and you can see one of the production hands in a mirror that's not supposed to be there. And he told me who that was and who that person was having an affair with while making the movie. It was a thrill. So that's got to be it. That's my favorite screening here at the Mayfair. So many wonderful screenings, but that's it.
Awesome. There's Who Framed Roger Rabbit, also mentioned in that clip. Now this is on DVD, which is already obsolete. But as Lee, one of the things I love about the Mayfair is that Lee loves to promote seeing things on 35 millimeter, actual film. And as a former film student, how that's quite important. So. We'll have one more little clip from Lee by the end of the evening, but I do believe we have some more music.
That is very true, and I'm just adding right here in the spotlight, you, Christine Graves. Hello. Just turn your mic on. There we go. So nice to see you.
Yeah, now I'm the only thing I can see now on my screen too, whereas I was looking at everybody in gallery.
Isn't this a lovely? What's that?
Andre kind of slipped in there that he's put in original artwork into the auction, like commissioned by him.
You can have input into what he creates. Yeah.
Whoa.
His work is amazing. And he mentioned you, Christine. Put two things in the auction. People can have a voice lesson with you, which would be a really cool thing to do, or a uke lesson.
Right. I'll trade art for ukulele lessons.
Okay, well there we go. I'll bid on it, Andre. I'm really tempted. So then you can bid on mine, and even if it doesn't work out, it works out.
That's right. Excellent. Community coming together.
Yeah.
Christine, you always have something excellent to present. What are you thinking of for this special occasion?
The special occasion that I can walk to the Mayfair from where I live, which is pretty great. I feel like I'm gone back to the 80s with all the film talk, some of the film talk tonight from Lee and other people. Yeah. But I have a special memory more recent, like from the 2000s, maybe from the 2010s. I don't know how you say that. And it was a family day screening of The Princess Bride, and I got to bring my boy there. Different generation now in terms of like getting it in the movie theater, why. But that was an amazing day, that family day, because we went to the movie and then I discovered how the House of Targ across the street actually made food, and went down to the House of Targ with the whole family. Didn't really know how multi-generational the experience was going to be that day. There were grandparents, young hipster parents and their little kids in eating pierogies in the House of Targ with tattoos and the whole 9 yards. And I realized how multi-dimensional that whole corner had become. And so I kind of give credit to the Mayfair for discovering that. So I'm going to sing a song about food, in other words. There's not enough food songs tonight. So this one is called Avocado Song for all you avocado lovers. And are there any? Yes?
Yeah, let's see a show of hands here for those whose hands we can see.
Okay, good.
Do we have any? Yes, we do.
And there's a humming solo. So when I say in the humming solo and it comes along, please feel free to hum along. Lovely, lovely avocado, beautiful and green, the color of a dream of places I have never been. You grow on trees under the sun in countries to the south. When you're ripe, you're plucked and trucked up north into my mouth. lovely, lovely avocado, you're a tricky riddle. Your skin is bumpy, flesh is creamy, hard pit in your middle. The botanists, they don't agree, are you a nut or fruit? Look it up and you will see, technically you're a drupe. Yes, I wrote this in the time of Wikipedia. Oh, lovely, lovely avocado, the Lord above high and holy. How did she come to create you perfectly for my guacamole? Oh, lovely, lovely avocado, how you make me sing. I open my mouth in the hope that you will jump right in. You melt like this sweet melody upon my happy tongue. With the coming humming solo, you will be quite done. Mm-hmm. Lovely, lovely avocado, beautiful and green, the color of a dream of places I have never been. You grow on trees under the sun, from countries to the south. When you're ripe, well, before you're ripe, you're plucked and trucked so you can ripen on the truck up north into my mouth.
Holy guacamole! That's Christine Graves right there with a brilliant song. Yay!
Yay! Food. It's not popcorn, but
that's smashing, Christine. It's absolutely smashing.
I eat an avocado a day, so I'm a bit fanatical, but.
Do you have the recipe book? There is one called An Avocado a Day.
I don't actually. I love them so much. I just salt and pepper. And
you don't need a recipe.
Don't need any. I don't need to bake anything.
What do people do if they want to take? Oh, Andre, what's that?
If an apple a day keeps the doctor away, what does an avocado a day do?
Makes the doctor slip away. I don't know.
It makes you write songs about avocados that are very clever and very hummable for sure. Christine, tell us, how do people avail themselves of those lessons that you have available? Voice lessons, ukulele lessons.
Once we're fully vaccinated, who knows? But at the moment, I teach on Zoom. So I teach movement classes. I teach some vocal and some ukulele students on Zoom. So that, and another platform too. But I used Zoom before COVID, and I'm comfortable with it. So. That would be the plan if somebody wants to. I saw somebody bid earlier today because these were up, so I was delighted. It's kind of scary to be like say left out and nobody bids on your items. So
no, that wouldn't be a good feeling. Everybody go. The auction link is in the chat. You can find it easily. It's 32 auctions. Yeah, 32 auctions.
Right. Don't leave my item unbid for.
No, please bid for me.
Please bid for me.
Don't leave Christine Graves out in the cold. All right, Christine, you have another song. How nice.
Yeah, I'll play a sad one. Well, actually it's not. But COVID has been a really big writing time starting last March. A lot of songs, a lot of moments and a lot of inspirations. And in April when tragedy really struck in Nova Scotia, I was pretty moved, and my roots are from Nova Scotia, and I wanted to write something. So this song ended up coming. It's about my mother, but it's also about her grandmother, who raised her for 6 years in a little village called Herring Cove, just outside of Halifax. And Herring Cove was close to Halifax. It is close to Halifax, but in those times nobody was going anywhere if, for example, you were going into labor. So apparently my great-grandmother was the midwife for the town, and even the ability to take care of yourself was so important. She once had to amputate a gangrenous leg from a fisherman in the village. And so hearing stories like that as I grew up was just kind of unbelievable and made an impression. So this is for my grandmother, Teresa. Mama said, do you want to learn She took my hand, led me down the steps and into the yard right then, saying it's not that hard to learn the name of a rattlesnake fern. Grandma taught me to harvest hope, and now it is your turn. Oh, Mama, smile. Do you want to hear a story of Teresa back in Herring Cove? Teresa knew every cover's name. She'd held every woman's hand through birth and men through worse. She said it's not that hard to cast a line into your past. Catch hold of one good thing that might be enough to hold fast. Teresa, I call your name from through the years. Sing your story helps me wipe away the tears. Teresa, you were brave, you never failed. You knew what to do like an angel. Mama said, between a tragedy and a miracle of birth, it is in our hands to know, to grow, to learn our own worth. She said it's recognized if only in your own eyes. And then she took me by the hand, took me back to the village where everybody's born, everybody dies, everybody knows Teresa. I call your name from through the years. Sing your story helps me wipe away the tears. Oh, Teresa, you were brave, you never failed. You knew what to do like an angel. Tartan halo, tartan angel.
Well, what a beautiful evening of music, everybody. Wow. It's stellar. Way to go. I got a message here from here. Let me spotlight myself. Thank you, Christine, so much. I'm going to spotlight myself. Am I? Yeah. Just to say that Mark Friars is in the audience and just made a nice donation to the silent auction. A CD called Vertigo by Ottawa's Phoenix Big Band has been added to the auction. Way to go, Mark. Way to get into the spirit. That's really nice. There have been some really excellent donations to the auction and lovely contributions to the GoFundMe fund. All right, where am I now? What am I doing now? Jason, Reed, is there any way you'd like to intervene or anything or not? Are you good? A big thank you to Jason, Sunye, and Reed Smith for actually making things work here this evening. Yay. And arranging for us to get out to YouTube and so on. Jason, do you want to say anything to those assembled?
Many thanks to everyone involved. This is fantastic and amazing. The turnout's astounding. The level of heart about things is absolutely beautiful. Just hearing and reading all these stories about the Mayfair and how much it's touched everyone is fantastic. And hearing about how people are contributing to keeping it running, like, yay, thank you. Big hats off to Reed for jumping in at the last minute and doing a stellar job.
Wow.
And thanks, everyone.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well said, Jason, Sonia. While we're saying thanks, let's say thanks to you, Greg Kelly, for putting this lineup together and making all the arrangements with everybody that's performing. Yay, let's hear it for Greg. And for coming up with the original idea of doing something to help the Mayfair pay the rent.
Sure didn't take much for to get people on board. It's just all I said was, "Can you help?" Yeah, I'm in.
As soon as they heard the word Mayfair,
everyone, yeah.
Everybody was on board. Isn't that cool?
Thank you, everybody. It's so heartwarming.
It's pretty great, is it not, Greg? And tomorrow you've got a nice lineup again for tomorrow.
Holy crow! Do you want to hear
tomorrow
it?
At 2 p.m.
Do you want to hear it?
Yeah. Hey, how about let's hear it. I know we have some repeat performers, which is a good thing. That's fun.
So we start with the territory acknowledgement, and then there's a sync space demonstration, which is really cool. There'll be a trio playing from 3 different cities, and it's all going to be synchronized via Zoom, which is really cool. And then there'll be a feature from Lee. Then we'll start off again with Arthur McGregor, and then Pat Moore, then John O'Lear, who played for years next door to the Mayfair at Quinn's.
That's right.
Yeah. And there's also Karen Oxhorn, John Carroll again, and Don Bray, Greg Kelly, Ray Harris, Tony Turner, Sean Tavernier, Katrina Sturton, and Chris White.
Oh, that's the lineup for tomorrow, starting at 2 p.m. That's looking good. Yeah, it's getting 2 thumbs up all around here. Tony Turner doesn't live in Ottawa, but he's an honorary Ottawan, even though he's living in Nanaimo.
Yeah. Apparently
so he'll be joining in
later because he's got things to do on Sunday morning, and so we got him towards the end.
He's on the left coast. Yeah, he's in his own world.
That's true.
Okay, Greg, who's up next? Let's have, or what are we doing? Yeah, let's have some more. Is it time
we're going?
I think so.
Well, right now we've got Gareth Auden Hull, better known as Jack Pine. Jack Pine.
Yeah. A very welcome addition to the lineup. And there he is now. Hey, Gareth.
Howdy, howdy. How's it going?
Hey. Going really well. This is very cool. It's good to see you, and it's going to be good to hear you. What are you thinking of for this special occasion, Gareth?
What am I thinking? I'm thinking of the Mayfair first, of course.
You grew up in that neighborhood there in Old Ottawa South, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm streaming from Gatineau right now, but I'm a Old Ottawa South, born and raised ish.
You've been to the Mayfair a lot.
I went to the Mayfair a lot. I went to school at Hopewell right next door, yeah. It's not my first Mayfair memory because we used to go and watch a lot of Jean-Claude Van Damme movies in particular at the Mayfair. But the most memorable time was definitely seeing Rocky Horror Picture Show for the first time with my father at age 11. I still think
was that your dad's first time seeing it too, Gareth? Do you know?
No, he knew what he was doing.
Okay.
But I didn't. So anyways, I still think my dad's pretty cool for taking his 11-year-old son to see Rocky Horror Picture at the theater. We did have rice and toast. We had water guns and newspapers.
You can't do rice anymore.
You can't do rice anymore.
No, they're still cleaning out.
How we knew back then to bring all that stuff. Like where there was an internet back then, even.
Word of mouth, my friend.
Word of mouth.
Yeah, good memories. Very positive memories for sure.
Right.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, that's an 8-string instrument called a mandolin.
Sure is.
You know how to play it.
I'm gonna try. So I at first I thought I should try and find a movie song to sing, and I couldn't think of any that I knew. I've played "Don't Cry for Me" Argentina once or twice in my life, but I didn't want to go there. So I thought maybe something cinematic maybe something that I've written that's cinematic. And I couldn't think of one of those either. So here's this song. No, no, this is it's a song I wrote. It's on the last album, and it's about being left behind when your lover goes away to work. So we're being left behind here by the entertainment industry. No, that's not true. The entertainment industry is being left behind by COVID, who's sucking us all away. And I don't know. When I thought of that intro, it was better in my head. Shirts are folded neat and crisply ironed. Socks are darned and rolled on the top left side. And when all your bags are packed, I'll see you leaving. So don't you dare look back to me till you turn the bend. So take with you my heart to keep your rhythm. Come back with calloused hands to stroke my head. 'Cause when all your work is done, you'll find me waiting in this dark and empty home with the curtains drawn. I'll sing your favorite song as I do dishes. I'll say your favorite prayer as I take to bed. And oh, so blessed will I be to hear your voice, dear, and replace that wretched tone of a man alone. Yeah, so take with you my heart to keep your rhythm. Come back with calloused hands to stroke my head. 'Cause when all your work is done, you'll find me waiting in this dark and empty home with the curtains drawn. So take with you my heart to keep your rhythm. Come back with calloused hands to stroke my head. 'Cause when all your work is done, you'll find me waiting in this dark and empty home. With the curtains drawn.
Give it up for Gareth Audenhole, Jack Pine, a song that someday soon will be the theme of a feature film, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So you could do it the other way around. Right? The song that will be in the movie. So, way to go. Nicely executed.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'll do a little costume change here, pick up the guitar.
Gareth, it's funny, and I know Alison Bowie is in the session here, who was producer of the Grassroots Festival, and there we saw you for the Grassroots Festival weekend running the controls. I'm not sure if you did any performing that weekend, did you?
I didn't play a note, actually.
Not sure if Alison has seen you perform before, so this is interesting.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Welcome, Alison.
Yeah, and we're getting lots of nice comments. Beautiful song. So,
thank you.
Awesome song from Alison Bowie.
Thank you.
What do you think of now, Gareth?
And others. gonna play a new song. It's not a debut or anything. I played it and a bunch of recent shows actually, but it's unrecorded so far, and it's about loving yourself first, and it's about chasing love everywhere else and forgetting to give it to yourself first. And we're all here giving love to the Mayfair, and that's great. But sometimes you gotta recharge yourself. You know, you gotta give yourself a chance to have a little more to give away. You know. So this is called "Who Do You Love." There you go again, flailing in the wind, blindfolded and feeling for something special to hold. You're clinging on tight, your teeth are sinking fast into the feeling. We've been sunk from the start. And if you ask yourself, who do you love? Do you love yourself? Love yourself. 'Cause you gotta treat yourself better than this. Go on and treat yourself to one true love. Yeah, love yourself. I'm calling out the wild thing that's howling in your ears. It's clawing at your insides and feeding off your fears. And I'm reaching for that soft thing that's wiser than your years. It's not the map but the compass that'll guide you through your years. 'Cause when you ask yourself, who do you love? Do you love yourself? Love yourself. You gotta treat yourself better than this. Yes, so go on and treat yourself to one true love. Yeah, love yourself. So hold your head high, yeah, and look me in the eye. When you tell me, who do you love? 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 Who do you love?
Hooray! Gareth, Jack Pine with the question of the day. Who do you love? And as you mentioned, Gareth, yes, we all love, everybody loves the Mayfair. That's a good thing. And we're seeing the result of that here this evening. Yay, thanks a lot. And where do we find you online?
jackpinefire.com, or on the socials, which are pretty dead right now for me. Everything at Jack Pine Fire, yeah.
Jack Pine Fire, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me
Thanks so much
find
for having
out.
me.
What's that?
Thanks so much for having me.
Well, thanks for lending your time and talents to this very worthy cause. Let's see, for those that we can see, are you having a good time? Is this a good thing? Yes. That's good.
Yay!
Yeah. Hooray. Yeah.
Romper, Stomper, Bomper, Boo. I see Joan and Arthur, Judy Fields.
I think, oh yeah, hi, John and Arthur. I think what we're doing now with Chris McLean, I think Chris is here, but I think we're going to play the video. I believe that's
No, you didn't. So I just sent you a chat message. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we can hear you, but let's spotlight you too. Why not? Hey, Chris McLean.
Hi, Chris White. I see you.
Yeah.
There you are. I just wasn't sure, like, because I'm up in the hills.
Up near Rupert Way. Up near Rupert.
Yeah. So I wasn't sure how reliable my internet is. So I thought, well, maybe I'll try playing one song. You can tell me whether the sound sucks. And if it does, then we'll play the second one as a video.
Okay, we have a fallback because that's how much we care.
All right, here we go.
Right. Chris McLean, everybody.
Hold on 1 second. I got to get my little...
Yeah, we can see there could be some internet issues. We can see, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
But let's give it a try.
Yeah, it's funny. I missed the song along, so this is my song along song. It's a song called Old Dog. Old dog, sleeping in the sun, twisting with the memory of fields you run. Old dog, sleeping in the sun, dreaming of the days gone by. I'm gonna do that again. Old dog, lying in the sun, twitching with the memory of fields you run. Old dog, lying in the sun, dreaming of the days gone by. Puppy pup in the milkweed patch, tail like a flag in the shimmering grass, nose to the ground along the path, it's sweet. Down the ravine along the creek, stirring up the shallows where the crayfish sleep, blue above, dappled green down here. Now you're an old dog lying in the sun, sipping at the memory of fields you run. Old dog lying in the sun, dreaming of the days gone by. Old dog, my shadow, old dog, my pal, I've never had a friend more loyal. Ears flap, paddle spray, sun, wind on the waterway. Campfire nights, carefree days, summer. Nose prints on a window pane, back seat worn where you have lain. All the roads we've been down together. Now you're an old dog lying in the sun, twitching with the memory of fields you run. Old dog lying in the sun, dreaming of the days gone by. Old dog, my shadow, old dog, my pal, I've never had a friend more loyal. Old dog, my ballast, old dog, my guide, I'm always better with you by my side. Old dog lying in the sun, twitching with the memory of fields you run. Old dog lying in the sun, dreaming of the days gone by. dreaming of the days gone by, dreaming of the days gone by.
Good one.
Great.
Chris McLean, that worked really well. That worked just fine. So I think
Okay.
we're good.
Right.
Yeah.
So that song is my song along song, but it's also I was thinking about my dog that I got during this pandemic, who is still a puppy and does run along the creek and stir everything up. I was thinking about Pat's dog Murphy. And anyway, this song is a song that I wrote a couple of years ago, but I also think it's, well, I'm grateful there's places like the Mayfair, and I'm grateful for all of you showing up to support it, and I'm especially grateful to my musician friends for the wonderful music tonight. So this one's called Grateful. Well, I'm grateful for the morning, grateful for this bed, for the roof over my head. Some might take for granted a simple place to live, but I'm grateful, grateful I have this. For my children, all my family, love, 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 loving me. Wonderful friends, all that makes me sing. Yes, I'm grateful for all the joy you bring. Used to struggle to be happy. I didn't know it had such a simple recipe. Start with a glass half empty, then fill it up with what I appreciate. Well, I'm grateful for the wrecking ball, grateful for the burn, and all of those hard lessons I've had to learn. I used to take for granted this body that I'm in. Now I'm grateful for bone and blood and skin. For the flowers, fields and the trees, the sky up above, mountains and the seas, birds, bees, insects, all the wild things. Yes, I'm grateful for every living thing. Used to struggle to be happy. I didn't know
Right. What a gorgeous song, Chris McLean.
Thank you.
Yeah, lots of heart symbols and lots of glowing comments in the chat for that. Way to go. Right. And yeah, the internet held up. So there you go. Miracles do occur.
We believe in miracles.
Yeah. Let's bring you back, Andre Gagne. Thanks for all your
Hello.
contributions. And let's talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Whatever I want to talk about. What's the
do have-
wingspan velocity of an unladen swallow?
We do have Danielle Allard. Danielle Allard is going to finish off the evening here.
Yes, and
But
we're
before
gonna
that-
get. Yeah, I've got. First off, Mike Barker over at the GoFundMe had this wonderful thing to say. Many fond memories of the Mayfair and that corner of the world. More generally, for me, this means Black Squirrel, the deck at Quinn's, and the public library. The Mayfair is an essential part of the beating heart of old Ottawa South.
Yay!
Wow, indeedy.
Nice.
Now, Chris, on the last segment, we talked about how much a ticket was when the Mayfair first opened. Now, how much do you think a Mayfair ticket was in 1986?
I'm remembering it was 15 cents in 1932. Is that correct?
15 cents.
15
Yeah.
cents, yeah.
15.
So now we're going to 1986, you say?
Let's see what inflation has brought us in 1986. Mayfair's regular admission price was $5.
Uh-huh.
Or $3.50 for those with a theater membership. The theater at that point in time had about 600 seats.
Yeah, these are good facts about a place we love.
Yes, we'll have some more. I've got a whole bunch of them. We have some more. We'll have some more tomorrow, including bringing us up to Lee's era of the Mayfair. And yeah, you mentioned here's an update on the auctions and the GoFundMe. We just did mention Danielle. Now you could actually go in the auction and bid on a fabulous art piece of Danielle Allard that Chris lovingly placed in the auction, and I created many a month ago when I was just starting out on this crazy digital art train. That's up there. You know what else you can bid on? You, if you've enjoyed the hosting stylings of Chris White this evening, you could join Chris White and co-host his CKCU radio show, Canadian Spaces. Chris, now, is this not the longest running folk music show
in Canada? Yeah, Canadian
in
Spaces.
Canada.
Yeah.
That's
Thanks
so.
to McKinnon, yeah.
The winner of that, you're part of history. And now I have co-hosted that show many a time with you.
Yeah.
It is just a fun, sometimes chaotic time. You'll show up. Chris will generally show up about 3 seconds before the live to air mic has to be pressed. And yet it all just comes together somehow. And I believe, Chris, along with that co-hosting segment, the winning bid will get the program 45 minutes of music.
Yeah.
Which is a staple of
that kind of thing. Suggest some guests, whatever you want to do. It'll be your show. So that's in the auction. Andre, here is the Danielle Allard item that you mentioned. That's in the auction.
That's right.
You made that.
Yes. I think Danielle is also celebrating an anniversary for the album that she was sporting that that's a Chameleon album. I took the photo, and that's a photo that has obviously been digitally manipulated to look more painterly. If you want one of your very own, folks, if you want a picture of yourself, your Uncle George, your Aunt Martha, your dog Skippy, your mailman, whatever you want, you can bid on that now. Send me the photo if you win, and I will make a custom art piece around your image. There's 3 of those up for grabs in the auction right now. The auction has blown by our goal for the evening, which was $1,000. Congratulations, people. And the GoFundMe, we are about $750 away from the goal of tonight's tonight to hit $7,000 on the GoFundMe. So almost every single item in the auction has been bid on, at least one bid. So pop on over there, give some items some love, and hit up the GoFundMe. Now we're gonna
that's 32 auctions
right.
/ Save the Mayfair. That's the address there.
And everybody wants to co-host with Chris. So I mean that's the hot ticket item. Right. Now before we scooch on over to Danielle, we got one more video this evening from Lee over at the Mayfair Theater. And he'll pop back on tomorrow. Now, what I ended up doing was I ended up asking Lee what the craziest thing that ever happened at the Mayfair is. Now, Lee has told this story we've talked about the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which there you go, it's a staple of repertory cinemas around the world. I think he told the story one time about how there's a part of the movie where the lead character says a toast, and you're supposed to throw toast around the movie theater at that time. and at the Bytown Theater, sadly closed during the pandemic, somebody threw a toaster through the movie screen. Apparently, I think it was Lee that told this story. Do not go to the Mayfair Theater and throw toasters, please. No appliances. But that was the craziest night at the Bytown. My personal craziest night at the Mayfair has to do with this film, one of my favorites of all time, called The Big Lebowski. The Mayfair did Lebowski Nights, which was they played this film and you dressed up as characters from the movie. And one of the most famous sequences of the movie includes a woman with bowling ball breasts and a Viking helmet on her head. And a person showed up in a pretty perfect costume of Maud from The Big Lebowski. And unfortunately, though, the horned woman sat directly in front of me for the film screening, so I had to kind of go and look around the horns, and I remember at one point midway through the movie just tapping her and saying, "Listen, ma'am, I'm sorry, but I can you please remove your hat?" And she turned to me and she said, "You can't see this movie and not be horny." And I couldn't argue with it.
No, there's no comeback.
I saw The Big Lebowski. You see movies in widescreen. I saw it in horned screen. So. But what is Lee's craziest night at the Mayfair Theater? We are about to find out.
Me again, Andre. Question number 3. What's the craziest thing that ever happened here? What's the craziest thing that ever happened at the Mayfair Theater? Geez, that's a good question. Crispin Glover came to the Mayfair Theater. That was kind of crazy just because his movies are so extreme. They're beautiful. I love his movies. But I remember he refused to come out on stage until we paid him cash. So he had to count the money in the candy bar and come pay him, and then he came out and showed his movies, and then people were really upset watching them because he goes to the extreme so much in these films, and people kind of got angry, and watching him defend his own art I thought was kind of courageous of him, and it was crazy to me. I felt at times maybe people would rush the stage and attack him. Tommy Wiseau came to the Mayfair Theater. That was a lot of fun with Greg Sestero. Tommy came twice with Greg Sestero, and Tommy threw footballs out on Bank Street while the audiences were buying tickets and lining up outside. He entertained them outside. It was a thrill having Tommy here and Greg here. Dr. Ruth Westheimer came to the Mayfair recently to show her documentary and talk to us before and after the film, which was pretty thrilling. Crazy? I mean, geez. Oh, I know. It's the craziest thing that ever happened in the Mayfair. Okay. The craziest thing that ever happened in the Mayfair, yes, I dabbed, is that we showed a midnight screening of Paul Verhoeven's Showgirls, the stripper movie, which is a piece of shit, but it's wonderful at midnight. And it's a long film too. It's over 2 hours. And my big idea was to put go-go dancers in the balconies here. And now these balconies, you might not know, are balconies on the side of the Mayfair. That one and that one do not have access. There's no stairs. There's no trapdoors to let you in. Once you're up there, the only way to get up there is on a ladder, and the only way to get down is the same ladder. So during Showgirls, we had go-go girls dancing, and before the movie started, they went up on the ladder, and I said, "Girls, you can't come down until after the movie, because after the movie, I can put the ladder back up." So they stayed up there for the whole 2.5 hours of that awful movie, freezing. They were wearing just underwear, and they were freezing. And I remember having to throw bags of popcorn up to them and chocolate bars and trying to make them happy. Those poor girls, wherever you are now, God bless you. You made Showgirls one hell of a night.
I guarantee you the movie Showgirls is not part of my collection, with no apologies to Elizabeth Berkley.
Andre, do you have more films from and anecdotes from Lee tomorrow?
Yeah,
Afternoon?
so in
Tomorrow
that
afternoon.
tomorrow afternoon, stay tuned. We got including the in that there was a bit of a teaser in that last clip where he panned over to the balcony and you saw a cardboard cutout in the balcony where once a go-go girl danced. Now, what is that cardboard cutout? Who is that? What famed film is that cardboard cutout from?
Alien.
You will find out tomorrow if you don't already know. And we alluded to it earlier, but Tom Cruise, the Mayfair Theater, or is that the Mayflower Theater? What is the connection? And Stanley Kubrick is somehow involved in that too.
Find out tomorrow.
Find out tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Save the
Back
Mayfair.
to you, Chris.
Concert number 2. I'm going to add Danielle Allard in here. And I'm going to ask you, Andre, to give, well, first of all, say a big thank you to everybody for being here.
Oh yeah, different
Danielle, you're going to end off the evening, and then we'll just hang around if you want, everybody, because after the show's over, we can just hang out. Just like you would at a regular in-person show. That happens all the time. So we'll just have you do a little intro, if you would, Andre, and then we'll proceed on.
An intro to Danielle. Well, what can I say about the Queen of Stream that hasn't already been said? I will say that Danielle, during this whole, I mean, we've talked about the pandemic, and Danielle has been one of the persons that has kept me relatively sane through multiple lockdowns. Just shortly over a year ago, she launched online this Saturday night game night, which has introduced me to folks like Jason, our tech guy, and tonight. And a bunch of us would gather online and play crazy games, and then that eventually led to, and this is another, connecting us back to the Mayfair, playing really weird cult movies and watching them together on over Zoom, and just lambasting them as you would a really bad good movie. So it's very awesome to see Danielle having been so successful over on Twitch, and I urge everybody, definitely grab Chameleon, definitely grab Passing Notes, some really amazing albums by Danielle. And before I jet out of here, thanks to all of the artists this evening, every single one, and we'll thank everyone for tomorrow, but thanks all of the artists this evening.
That's a big thank you. Yeah,
over 100 of you watching, all the people who have bid, all the people on the GoFundMe. If you didn't know it, we all really love this movie theater, and seeing the Bytown Cinema go was during the pandemic was quite a sad loss, and the Mayfair is currently the only single screen theater left in the city, and we want to keep it rolling. So give generously, and we'll see you at the movies.
Yeah. All right, Danielle, what have you got?
Thank you so much, Andre, Chris, Greg, Jason, and Reed, who were helping with the tech earlier, to everybody who's been involved in organizing this and performing, and to all of you supporting and attending. It's huge. And I know that when I'm asked to do 2 songs, typically I convert that into my mind as the organizers want me to play for 10 minutes. And this year has been a crazy year for me in that I've had to learn to be my own band locked away in my basement. So what I'm going to do instead of 2 songs is 1 long song, but we're going to challenge to see how many instruments I can play on this 1 long 10-minute song. What I've done this year is really taken to live streaming, trying to find a home for music on the internet, because I couldn't imagine an entire year without live music. And so I've met so many lovely people on this crazy journey, and I just want to thank you all so much for being here and for showing me how incredible Ottawa is. I'm Ottawa born and raised. I'm still coming at you from my Ottawa basement. And this is an original song off of my last album, and it's a song called Island, and it's just about how important people are, how important your community is. And it was written long before the last year, but I think that the lesson is ingrained in me even further this year. It's just how important everybody is, and I can't wait to see you all. I'm so happy to see so many incredible familiar faces here, some new faces, but to all of you hanging out for these last few hours, you got your cameras on. I know it's not easy. I know Zoom fatigue is difficult, but it means so much to be able to see your faces. So thank you on behalf of all the performers, I think, today. Just that we can see you while we're playing music, that's huge for us. And to all the performers before me, I'm so inspired by each and every one of you. So let's make a loop, shall we? Some singing along today. I miss singing with people in public, but you can sing from your home. We can even play music together now. I just want you to grab the thing that's closest to you right now, and I want you to shake it. Unless it's your baby. Don't shake your baby. And now, if you have something close to you that can be used for bongos, I've been told by many internet sources that dogs do enjoy being bongos. You can play bongos with that thing right now. Like it might need some more island vibes. Bongo dogs are where it's at, John. They are where it's at. I think we should add some ukulele to this one. some bass. I feel like it needs a little bit of bass. Maybe some glockenspiel too, but only because I like saying the word glockenspiel. Maybe some handpan. Maybe some handpan. We need some more island vibes. everybody for showing up for your community today. It was such an honor to be here. Huge love to the organizing team. So happy to be a part of this. And if you ever want to see more of this, I'm doing this 3 days a week, and again from my Ottawa basement. Had to get pretty creative this year, but it's such a pleasure to be able to share this with you this evening. So I'm Danielle. Thank you once again for being so lovely.
Danielle Allard, everybody. Andre, what do you think? Marvelous, correct?
I have no words.
Yeah, way to go.
So instead, here's a cute Mogwai.
It's the perfect response.
Okay, Andre had some good news about some totals here. And again, just a reminder, feel free to stick around afterwards. We're going to bring the concert to an end, but stick around and chat. And actually, speaking of chat, Andre, just before you give us that reminder, I'm hoping, Reed, that you're there, because I'm going to show some things from Google Drive that are comments that have come in. Reed, are you there?
Yep.
Tell us what happened. Why is it that we have these comments?
So are you talking about the presentation and the Google Drive?
Yeah, here we go. I don't know, folks, can you see this? So here's some comments from this concert.
Yeah,
Ashley,
so I just copied and pasted those from the Zoom chat and the YouTube stream as they came in.
yeah, people are also watching on YouTube. So Ashley Andrews got married at the Mayfair. I love that. From Kathy K. Hey, Kathy. Lansdowne Follies, that's right. That was protesting a certain privatization of certain land. There were 3 editions of Lansdowne Follies. They were lots of fun, held at the Mayfair. Rocky Horror Picture Show, summer 1998 from Jan Teven. And there, somebody had the best birthday party ever for their son. You notice the theme here, all ages, all backgrounds. Here's a comment from Chris McLean about going there to see the film Life Song about the late, amazing, wonderful individual named Barclay McMillan. What's that? 10 cents, 5 for 5 entry for junk food. Am I reading that right, Kathy?
Yeah, it was 10, they could go to the theater for 10 cents, 5 for the entry, 5 for the junk food.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, we heard that story from Kathy. Yeah, I saw Parasite at the Mayfair, and I hope the Mayfair is saved. Yes, we need this. It's true. And here from Mary Jack. Hey, Mary. I remember double headers. You could pay for one movie and stay if you wanted. These are all amazing. I hope there's a book about the Mayfair somewhere. A coffee table book, is there? Or if not,
might be an idea.
There's a concept. Am I right?
All right.
So,
that's the next GoFundMe.
Yeah, right. I practically grew up in the Mayfair, says Jasmine. Is that in Manitoba, maybe? It was walking distance from my house. Is that right, Reed? Or
Either they're in Manitoba or their last name is MB.
MB.
Related.
Okay, yeah, either one. I had a membership for most of my life, and some of the favorite memories were going with a best friend to a James Bond double feature on Tuesdays in January and laugh ourselves to death. So much fun. There's somebody else that loved the double features, remembers them so fondly. Yes, and this is Sharon. We talked with you earlier, co-founder of the One World Film Festival, moved to Ottawa in 1998, and then away overseas, as you were saying, Sharon, and now back, and it is lovely to support the Mayfair, right in the heart of Old Ottawa South. Another memory from Mary Jick, while working at Carleton, a secretary mentioned that she used to go when refreshments were served at the Mayfair, and possibly a live performance at the Interlude. How sophisticated. Scott Emery Moore, this is beyond words, you say, Scott. Thanks to all parties responsible for putting this together. And yes, you have a shilling or 3 anytime for the Mayfair. And that feeling has been reflected so many times. It's so nice to see.
What about a tuppence?
Oh, yeah, wait a minute. A shilling or 3. Okay, there we go.
Or a farthing.
And here's another lovely comment. So great to be here, and gratitude for a community that stepped up and rallied. I love the proactive nature of this. Save the Mayfair before it goes down. instead of trying to lament something afterwards. Let's be proactive here. And hear from Clive Doucette. Hey, Clive. Most memorable movie was taking children to an afternoon screening of West Side Story, based on, you knew it was based on the Romeo and Juliet story, but had never seen the movie.
Right.
Told the kids it was a sad movie that had a happy ending. Whoops.
Betrayed.
Daughter felt betrayed, and they both left in tears. That's a sad, happy. What is it? That's a sad, happy memory.
Sad, happy memory. Well, we hope the theater will be thriving again come December when Spielberg's remake of West Side Story comes out.
All right, Andre. Let's cap things off, and then go into our post-concert meet and greet for anyone that wants to stay around and chat and be unmuted and chat.
I did not have anything really to shake that made noise, but I thought I had a Stay Puft Marshmallow and a Mogwai. Ghostbusters and Gremlins I've both seen at the Mayfair Theater, and if nothing else comes out of this evening, I found out that this guy lights up by shaking it for Danielle. I've had this forever, never knew it lit up. There you go. This Mogwai used to sing, but he's not. Maybe if I put some water on him, I'll have a couple of other ones, and then we'll have a choir for tomorrow. All right. So the totals. All right, folks. Let me take a look-see for this evening. Now, as I mentioned earlier, almost I think every item now has a bid on it in the auction. So and some of them have multiple bids. So if you don't want to lose your chance to co-host Canadian Spaces on CKCU with Chris White, you'll outbid that other person. Go, just outbid people. Don't be Canadian right now. Be ruthless. Bid them down. All right. We are 69.7% away from our auction goal. As of this evening, we have $1,394.50 in the live auction.
Yay! Amazing.
Right.
And GoFundMe.
Over at the GoFundMe, we are currently less than $400 away from this evening's $7,000 goal.
Is that right?
Yeah, our total right now is $6,660 raised, which is over 50% of our total $10,000 goal for the Mayfair Theater. Now, of course, this is still going to continue after we say goodnight for the evening. But let's see, could we hit $7,000 by midnight? Share the GoFundMe with your Aunt Martha, your Uncle George, or maybe your Aunt George and your Uncle Martha. We're not going to discriminate when it comes to your money. We'll take it. Right. Now I think if we throw in a humming avocado into the auction, we will go over the top. Over the top.
Okay, thanks so much for everything. And let us just see, does anybody want to say anything in particular? What a lovely evening. To be continued tomorrow at 2. Is there anybody that would like to share anything? We can turn on mics and chat back and forth if you like. I'm totally inspired by this. Anyone? Mark Friars, do you want to say anything about that album you donated to the auction? If so, we could unmute you, or you could unmute yourself.
Oh, I would love to tell you something about it, Chris. It's an album we managed to put out in 2021 after about 4 years of working on it, and a lot of online studio work, but it was a lot of fun, I got to tell you. And we're very pleased.
Thanks for that donation to the auction. That was in mid-concert.
sorry, it's pretty of a late comer, but
what's the title of that album again, Mark?
It's called Vertigo, which is kind of a feeling I guess we all have at the moment, looking down at, looking around at everything and just feeling a little dizzy with the whole way life is upset. So we've called the album that, and we hope that it's.
What do you mean? Is this a new album?
It's a new album. Yeah, we
tell us the name. What's the official name of the band again?
The official name of the band is Phoenix. It was originally called Phoenix, but we call it the Phoenix Big Band, mostly because we wanted to call it the Phoenix Medium-Sized Band or the Phoenix Little Big Band. But there's a very famous artist in Canada called Colin James, and he already had the Little Big Band, so we figured we'd just stick with the Big Band. And there's a big French band called Phoenix too, so we got to try and find something that's a little different. And we had a lot of horns. We had a lot of horn players to begin with. So it had a kind of a big band sound at times. But there's a whole mixture of songs. There's some the more traditional blues songs. There's some swing songs. There's some almost reggae style songs, some island sounding songs. It's a whole lot of stuff that we do, and we typically play up at the Atomic Rooster, which is not quite in Old Ottawa South, but it's not far out of the neighborhood.
And another cherished local, independently
local venue
that does a lot of positive things. Yeah.
And we have some members of the medical profession in the band, so we've done quite a few fundraisers for like throat cancer and Ottawa Hospital and stuff like that. So that's mostly what we do. And so this is our second album, in fact. Our second album, the first one is on Spotify, and on our YouTube channel is a whole bunch of videos and stuff for other live songs that haven't been recorded yet. So the Vertigo CD is a new one, and it contains many of the audience favorites. So there's a theme of Old Dog coming from the songwriters group last.
Well, that's it. We saw you at the song along, and that's why. Yeah.
A version of the Old Dog got updated for that song along, and that was a lot of fun. And there's a few other good ones there too. So take a gander. It's on Bandcamp, and it's on. It's not on Spotify yet, but it will be.
Do we look for Phoenix or Phoenix Big Band?
You look for Phoenix Big Band.
Okay, that's what we'll look for. Yeah. So, Mark, because of Song Along, I know that you are an excellent singer and player, and this is one of the advantages of this after hours thing right now is if you wanted to, after we chat with a few more folks, you could play a song. Why not? If you want. I'll leave that with you. Thank you for that auction donation. We'll check.
Yeah, I've got I'm sitting in the middle of the living room right now, so I'm not sure if the setup would be too good.
Not really set up for it. Yeah, but anyway, I just realized, hey, we could do something like that. So let's go back to the gallery view, a term that, let's say 2 years ago, none of us was at all familiar with. And let's go back to gallery view and see if there's anybody else that wants to say anything in particular.
Okay. Thanks, Chris.
Anyone? Put your hand up. Let me see. Or raise a whatever. Yeah, thanks a lot, Mark. Thanks
for that. Put your hands up. Pat Moore has something to say.
Oh, there we go. Okay, Pat, you're in the spotlight.
Okay, great. I just wanted to say...
you in the spotlight.
And you're being serenaded.
And I'm being serenaded. Wow. I just wanted to say thank you so much, Greg, for the great idea, and for the team for bringing this all together. And,
it's awesome. It's quite a story. It's amazing.
And the audience for all being here.
People showed up.
Yeah, it's great.
In every sense of the word. In every sense.
It's been fun. And
it's
we're
been a lot of fun.
Back at it again tomorrow.
And Andre's got a what?
He's got... Oh, that's the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Wrong-o.
Wrong?
Come on. Who hasn't seen... You gotta see Ghostbusters.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Anyway,
the destroyer of worlds.
Thank you.
Well said, Pat. Well said, yeah. It was a lovely cooperative effort in a mere 19 days.
Mere 19 days.
Right.
Unbelievable. Yeah, and Greg, do you want to throw something in here? We're looking forward to tomorrow, aren't we, Greg?
Yeah, I know I am.
And tomorrow is that really fun Sync Space demonstration.
We got a lot of interesting things tomorrow. Now, interestingly enough, Greg, the story that you saw that inspired this event for the theater over in Cornwall.
Yeah.
That was the first theater I ever saw a movie in.
Is that right, eh?
I grew up there, and Andre went to see, I believe it was 101 Dalmatians.
Wow.
Oh, and you say we, that's we, W-E-E.
Little
we.
I thought you're royal we, yeah.
My father would take us like on every weekend to go and see like one of the There was like Godzilla films that we saw there. Jason and the Argonauts totally saw there. Like a whole bunch of these.
And that was, yeah, Pat.
I think that when the pandemic allows us, we should all go to Cornwall to the theater there, and then go to the Mayfair here.
Home and home. Home and home.
It's like
together.
Yeah.
And it should be, and it really should be, broadcast live on All in a Day.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they started this by running that story that, Greg, you just happened to be in a position to hear. It was a total fluke that you heard that story about the Cornwall Theater called the
I rarely listen to the radio in the car.
Yeah, it was a total fluke that you happened to hear it, and that sparked the idea.
It was right there.
Yeah. This was either meant to be or a total fluke.
Okay, who rents the bus?
That's right.
I really
Well, we know a professional bus driver.
Right.
Yeah.
I should have played my song that I wrote driving to Cornwall. I can't believe I missed that opportunity.
What's this, Christine?
I should have written my song that I wrote driving down the highway. Like,
what do you mean? Is that a familiar drive?
Well, it was. I was traveling down there to do community home care for about a year and a bit. Yeah. But the first line is millions and billions and trillions of trilliums.
Oh, yes.
Right now, if you were driving, like...
What do you mean? Are there lots of trilliums?
Well, yeah, all along.
Oh.
Only for like 3 days, right? But that drive was like outstanding for that. Turning south to head down to Cornwall. Just trilliums throughout the woods. Just
trillions of trilliums.
Millions and billions and trillions.
That's about one for every Tim Hortons in Cornwall.
Maybe.
How many people have actually seen the photo? See, it was the photo of that Port Theater that kicked off the story, that kicked off this whole initiative. Have you seen it, Andre? I have.
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Oh, yeah. See, this was the photo.
On the TV.
Oh, they showed it on CTV.
They showed it on
Now we haven't. The theater is called the Port. Now it used to be way back in the day. It used to be called the Roxy. And when the new owners purchased it, if the picture Chris is going to shows the front of the theater, its sign is like 4 giant circles that had ROXY in it. And when the new people bought it, they were like, "Well, we have to call it something, but we can only use 4 letters." So, the theater is on.
Could have been Mojo.
That'd been awesome. We go to the Mojo. Could have been the Pat with 2 T's. Right?
Yeah, you're right.
But I think it's because it's close to Montreal Road / Water Street.
Yeah.
Near the water, so that's probably why they called it the Port Theater.
Thought you were going to say they
Andre,
circles into portholes.
Oh.
Oh, okay, it's late.
Yeah.
The Zoom fatigue is setting in.
Oh, must be tired.
I see an email here from Lee saying, "That was great. My family and I had an awesome time tonight watching, and we were looking forward to it."
Oh, good.
Wait till tomorrow.
Oh, good.
So we're looking forward to seeing you too, Lee.
Yeah, hi Lee, if you're still tuned in. Here, I want to show you that theater, and that's the photo that paid for this guy's house.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the Port Theater in Cornwall.
That's right.
This guy took this picture quite a while ago. Do you know when it was, Andre?
I have no clue. All I
sold enough prints of this photo to pay for his house, basically.
Right. And to that I say, when I was growing up in Cornwall, I needed to take more freaking pictures of the Port
should have been
Theater.
taking more pictures.
I don't have a house.
I was going. I only remember live music advertised on the marquee. Like, I don't remember movies, but maybe I just missed it.
Well, see, now it's turned into a kind of an art center, which might be the final thing about this is, well, yeah, who knows what will happen here in Ottawa.
So he sold more copies of that
sewing center.
To the theater.
What's that, Greg?
Anyway.
So he brought it out again and sold.
That was the whole thing. He was offering them for a donation to the theater. He was making them available. And that was the whole idea.
Sold enough to pay.
To help the Port Theater pay their rent.
Yeah.
And then Greg heard that and said, "Oh, we Ottawa musicians, actually you said songwriters,
Yeah.
should do something to help the Mayfair, and then thus an idea was born. Now
Last
here,
movie theater in Ottawa.
Exactly. Forget about the port, by the way. All
Yeah.
Mayfair. All Mayfair.
It's all Mayfair.
All the time. Okay, fine.
look at this. Here's one final comment from the chat. This is a fun story from Gabrielle Greff Innes. I came to Canada in 1974 and came straight to Ottawa. The most enjoyable experiences were going to the Mayfair for the double feature. There it is again. I saw Gandhi there once, and when the lights came on, was surprised to see I was sitting next to Pierre Trudeau.
Really? She was sitting in a theater with Pierre Trudeau and Gandhi? Oh, she saw the movie Gandhi. Okay.
She saw the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Ben Kingsley. I got you.
Isn't that funny? Hilarious.
It is.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder if Justin Trudeau has been to the Mayfair.
Okay, let's go back one more time to gallery view before we call it a wrap. Anybody for anything else? Judy, you're still here. Do you want to say anything in particular? You're welcome to if you would.
I want to
like
say
to.
thanks for such a great evening, and response to everything has been terrific. Thank you.
Yeah, and nice to see you. I mean, I can literally say I probably haven't seen you for at least a year and a half, probably.
Long time.
Either in person or on a screen or anything.
You got it.
Judy.
So it's just nice to see people.
Yeah, sure is.
It is. So that's another nice thing about this whole initiative. It brought us together.
That's a Judy outstanding in her field.
Sharon, tell us a little more, Sharon. Now that we have a chance to talk a little more, tell us a little more about this One World. It's an organization, and then you started the festival that's about to turn 30 years old, the One World Film Festival. Are we hearing you?
You got
Not
unmute.
hearing.
I got unmuting.
Okay.
Right, yeah, it's very interesting because I come from a theater background, and I have to say my first love is theater. But I have been overseas in countries. I had to reinvent myself every time. Going to Greece between 91 and 94, 95, coming back here, and then going out again to Sydney, Australia, Bangkok, Thailand, Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, and Johannesburg, South Africa. And my most foreign place of all was Atlanta, Georgia, USA, because I'm an American. And going back there during the post 9/11 years, it was like you had to live in a sort of a democratic bubble, because it was, everything was controlled by government. So I was sort of political activist, come from theater, studied film and documentary filmmaking in Philadelphia.
Can we stop just for one sec, Sharon? Because
yes.
I'm just curious, to go back a sec. You said in all those different locations around the world, you reinvented yourself each time.
That's right.
What were just a few examples of what were some of the incarnations?
It was because all the arts, I come from theater, and I appreciate I work with visual art, but and film and video is my degrees are in. I did the first vagina monologues in Mongolia.
Oh.
In English and Mongolian, in the first non-state run theater, because it was always controlled by Russia. So the Black Box Theater, I went and I just arrived there, and they lost a director in a show, an American musical called Fantastics, and they knew I had theater experience because I just come from Bangkok, Thailand, and I'd run a theater school and did a bunch of productions there. And they said, we need a director for the Fantastics. And I came to this production where it was it was sort of like Americanized. And I was like, hey, where's the Mongolians? Where's the Mongolian music? Where's the Mongolian costumes? And I sort of shook it up, right? And then when these people who were opening the first Black Box, the first non-state run theater, they saw that production. They said, we want you to come and do a production here. And when I say reinvent, so I had original theater degrees, but I also had worked in sort of documenting the film, the autistic process of artists. I always felt like I was at the Saul Gallery when we first moved up the hill from the Bytown to the Arts Court. I helped carry the shit to move the Saul Gallery. and I was part of Solve Video Co-op. So I was always part of that documentary world. But when I left on those weird periods of time, like I disappeared for 4 years and I disappeared for 20 years, you lose your connections here, of course. And that's fine, but I end up going to places like Bangkok, and you have to sort of land on your feet and figure out what you're going to do.
And make a whole new set of connections.
That's right. Reinvent. And that's, I don't know what the rules are. So when I landed in a place like Mongolia, you just break the rules because you just do things in a kind of weird way. But to me, documentary film, and I did it in the early days, but now I'm just like the programmer or the, festival. I do, the grant writing and the crap stuff to keep the festival going. But just so you know, One World Arts is, I'm bringing back the One World Arts part is supposed to be theater and music and film. So I just had a big discussion today with the theater group to incorporate the theater with One World Arts so we can do annual theater and the film festival. So I don't want to just do like film festival. Film festival is designed to fund the One World Arts, but it, like, the child took over and then it ended up, swallowing the parent. And I said, what happened to the arts? What happened to One World Arts? Okay.
Well, what's the mandate of One World Arts?
One World Arts mandate
to work across disciplines, for one thing.
It is global education in the arts. It's using the arts to educate on global issues, human rights, social justice, and the environment. So you use the arts, and that can be theater, film, music, anything.
Right.
That we lost that connection. So that, I don't know, when CETA died, they used to fund One World Arts. Then CETA got swallowed up.
Really? Is that right? It was CETA funded.
It was CETA funded and had a really good foundation because it started in 1972 in the early days when there was the sort of grassroots movement towards activism and global education in the arts and the environment, right? So
yeah, I didn't know that. But I do know that the arts are extremely powerful. So whoever was doing that was onto a good thing.
And it was registered, it's copyright One World Arts. But I said, I know the original Jean Fairholm lived over here on Rosedale, where I lived too, 98 to 92, really. And I sat on the doorstep and she said, with her, she's like a neighbor. I was like, well, One World Arts isn't doing very well. I think we got to move again. And they were a resource center for people to write grants to do development education overseas. Like if going to South Africa, I do a project there every year. So it's like you would go there and do your research and they would help you. Now that completely was going to disappear. And she said, I don't know what to do. And I said, well, why don't we do like a film festival to show local work?
Because the festival will earn some revenue.
That's right.
Is that right? Why? And you knew that it would show local work and it would also make a profit and it would help the fund.
Yes, and Canadian and international work. And it does make a lot of money, but it's like a profile and an umbrella.
Yeah.
So, and it's not always about the money. Like last year, we run things on a shoestring, but we made money. And for the One World Refugee Film Festival, we gave our profits for the first time to the Matthew House in Ottawa, which was to house refugees.
Yeah.
We made a couple $1,000s and we gave it to them. And then nice. So that's the point. I said, we got to get back to our roots. Okay.
Sharon, I want to ask you one more thing, just because I love to interview people.
Yes, I know. I'm bidding on your show so we can do.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Well, I was going to ask you to join me on Sunday evening, even tomorrow evening, just to chat on Canadian Faces.
That's great.
Maybe Andre will come by too.
Sure, that's a great idea.
That's
you
2
want
hours.
to do it 3 hours in the afternoon and then 2 hours in the evening? You're a machine, Chris White.
You're great.
Anyway, so
I can't even turn my lights on right now because I'm trying to save hydro. I'm the next GoFundMe. Trust me. Although 3 pieces of artwork have been bid on. Yay.
Nice. Sharon, just one more question though, again, to go back to pick up on something you said. You said that all along the way, or at various points along the way, you were documenting the artistic process and I guess the experience of the artists involved in said process.
That's right.
As well as the things more external. Is that right?
Yes, yes, yes. So like everything, whatever I did in South Africa, working in the rural community with young people developing theater and writing skills. In Mongolia, doing theater work with young women who had never done theater before, and I documented the process. In Thailand, working with kids who didn't speak English, and you gave them a chance to be on stage and get in theater without having to worry about whether they could speak English or not. Like they just become characters. Yeah.
Are you saying, for example, you just set up a camera on a tripod and just shoot whatever was happening?
No, I was pretty much the fly on the wall originator, like the early weirdo documentary days where you remember that something called The Loud Family? Did you ever hear that?
No, but Andre undoubtedly did.
Okay, what's the series? America, they did a series about the Loud Family, and they basically did that fly on the wall, live that what they do now, of course, every day, every hour of every day, is like being in people's lives. Like the camera comes with you, like Grey Gardens, the film Grey Gardens with the Maisley brothers. No, okay. Well, there's documentary style, which is the fly on the wall, and that's what you see now. Is like people just live with people, and then you shoot in an sort of a non-obtrusive way.
Yeah, and after a while, people even forget the cameras are there.
That's right. It's just really natural. It's just and then it's mostly about what people are talking about and how they're talking about things. It's not always a visual thing. I mean, it's sort of like it's a relationship thing. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. So thanks so much, Sharon.
One more thing, by the way, do you know the show Fresh Air in the States?
Yeah.
I worked on I was the intern on for Cherry Gross on Fresh Air in like the late 80s there. Just before I came up from Philadelphia to Ottawa when I immigrated. So I worked for Terry.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. So you're an American. So when did
American immigrated here? So I consider myself to be more Canadian because I chose Canada.
What year did you first arrive in Ottawa?
88. I graduated 87, but I actually did spend some time in Canada after high school in Toronto with the theater stuff. But I just wanted radio. I love radio. Radio is I just absolutely love.
Yeah, me too. Why did radio paints the best pictures, they say. Why did you come to Ottawa?
Okay.
Was that a matter of the heart, probably?
It was, because I met a
Must have been. Why? Yeah.
I met a Canadian, although I'd already planned to immigrate here, and I did immigrate independently. I independently immigrated, and my husband, Greg Goldhawk, was posted at the Canadian consulate. And so when he had to return to headquarters, then I officially applied to immigrate.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, that's good for us.
As I sign off, I just want to say, Sharon, I was a friend of Jean's.
Oh,
Fairhomes in more in recent times, because I didn't move to Ottawa till about 10 years ago.
Oh, wonderful. And then you knew her on Rosedale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. She was there forever. And I was thinking of making a scholarship fund in her name.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Because her name is Fairhome, which is very cool, like fair trade, fair home.
Oh, are you talking about Jean Fairholm?
She was my neighbor. That's who I started.
Oh, that's the one okay, I missed that the first day. Yeah, I knew Jean.
Yeah, she was my next door neighbor, and that's how we started the One World Film Festival. And she was originally worked with One World Arts. Yeah,
amazing.
But it had a little funny different name. It had a name change, like a couple decades ago. But then they incorporated. It had a French English name, and then they incorporated it under One World Arts. But in a way, it is confusing. People hear that. What is that? Like, we don't use the name a lot. It is confusing. So it would be nice if you could give me some insight into modifying or clarifying.
Right.
Because you had heard of it, but you don't know. Like, have you ever heard of One World Arts? Just asking.
Who are you asking?
I'm asking you, Chris.
Oh, me. Oh, I thought you were asking Christine.
Oh, Christine as well, but
I've heard of the One World Arts Film Festival.
Well, it's called One World Film Festival, and One World Arts is the name of the foundation.
But One World Arts, the broader organization, had not heard of, loved the sound of it, loved the whole concept of it.
Yeah.
Mighty impressed that it was CETA funded at one time. It's actually funded, and that means somebody else in a position of enabling things understood the value.
Yeah, I know.
That's very impressive.
And it's
I notice
50,
it's not funded now, but there we go.
it's 50 years old next year. So that is, I want to, so we were, the film festival was 30 years old just a year or so ago, because I count 89, 90, and now it's going to be 50, started in 72. So I always like get a running start, say, okay, now we got to get our hunkers down and then head up for that, because it's time to wave a flag, okay? So come on. It's like, time to celebrate.
Okay, well, what fun. Now, there's still some people here.
Right.
You're leaving, Christine.
Yep.
Mark
I'm
is
gonna
here.
get to,
Mark, did you?
but
What did
I
you?
just want to provide
Yeah.
one more update. We are $250 away from tonight's goal in the GoFundMe. So
Wow.
go and find some change in your couch cushions and get us up to 7,000 by midnight. Then we just have to
I'm
raise,
confident that that will happen, Andre. I have a good feeling about that.
and
Because
over
as you
at the
said, a few
auction,
people could forward a message to somebody else, and somebody else would be happy. Everybody's happy to support the Mayfair.
right, 70.7% of our auction goal currently.
Isn't this awesome?
So-
this
so
project,
that's,
Sharon, this project is 19 days old.
Are you so amazing? I know it's so fresh. That's why.
This is a comment on the Ottawa community and
Totally.
what it can do. This is a huge testament to the
Imagine what we
Whole
could
bunch
do
of
if we actually planned it.
yeah. If we actually had, let's say, a whole month.
All right.
I like
Chris,
doing
I just-
fast track projects. Actually, what's that, Sharon?
I was going to say to be proactive, to be for something, to not be against something.
Yeah,
and
to be
put
for
all
something.
Yes, to be all your
Yeah.
energy for something. Don't talk about what doesn't work. Talk about what does work and support it.
Yeah, that's what I love about it. There's a lot of positive energy. It's a positive story.
It's a national story, and I thought that Mayfair is the oldest theater in Ottawa and the second oldest in Canada.
It's one of the oldest.
It is the
For sure.
oldest in Ottawa and the second oldest in Canada. That's what I understand.
Yeah, that quite could be. Lee DeMarv could us.
It could be a national campaign because I sent this out to other people and I sent it down to the US too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Anybody that used to live in Ottawa and used to go to the Mayfair, and no matter where they live now, would be happy to support it just because of their fond memories. We heard some of them tonight. Those were awesome stories.
Right? Yeah, it's really, it's wonderful. And this is one of a kind.
And there could be a coffee table book.
Well, no, I think that we're kind of in digital book mode nowadays.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. A digital coffee table on a digital coffee table.
In 19 days, we could have a digital book ready.
What do you mean, an actual real book?
Like the point is to put a digital book together. It is.
What do you mean by a digital book, though? Do you mean is it in a physical medium in the end?
Well, like Kindle style, but the point is it should be Kindle style. It's just pieces of writing and photographs
Yeah.
and storytelling. Yeah.
I still don't know. Is it a paper medium that it ends up on or not?
Could be if you obviously print an electronic.
Because if it's electronic, it can also include video clips
That's true.
with permissions, all that stuff.
Well, I think even a short film on the Mayfair, which I think there's some out there because I've looked. I know that the Bytown had some short film, but a short film
About the Mayfair.
Yeah, about Mayfair.
See, their 90th anniversary is next year, so.
So do you know the Ed Kurserack?
Yes, I do.
He's a neighbor of mine because I'm on Seneca and I can almost see his house because he's on Hopewell, right? But he's the kind of guy, it's like he and a team is like, I think the idea is to get a team together and just do it. Yeah.
Do what?
Like make a short documentary on
Oh, well, he can do it.
I know.
And Danielle Rolfe, do you know her?
Yes, I love her. Yeah, we did the Blue Roses premiered the film.
Oh, what do you mean? Were you involved in that film?
Yeah, I premiered their film. We supported the making of that film and we let them screen that film at the Mayfair without even seeing it because they were editing it just before they gave it to us to cut. But I have a sort of a social worker mentality and homelessness is my big issue. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, I know we'll be talking further, Sharon. I just want to check. Mark, did you decide on playing a song by any chance? Because if you did, there's still some people here. And if not, that's fine too. except to say that you should come on to Canadian Faces sometime, the Sunday evening Zoom to Facebook show, gathering of artists, and just play a few songs there.
Mm-hmm.
That would be something.
It'd be fun.
What are you thinking about right now? Not set up for it.
Not right. No, I'm just heading to bed now because we were out on a big hike today. So,
hey, good for you. That's good. Come on, it was a beautiful day.
Got up pretty early for it, so my better half has already given up the unequal struggle.
What part of town or nature or whatever? What part of the world did you go to?
Oh, just the Frontenac.
Oh, like down around Kingston area, you mean?
Oh, not that far. No, just down into Cottage.
Down that way.
Down towards the provincial park. Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice.
There's some nice hikes around there, and everybody's very distant from each other, so it's all good and safe.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I think we're going to call it a wrap. Unless Jason or Reed, do you want to say anything in particular? Thanks for being here.
I just think that was fantastic, and thanks so much for including me, Chris, and for leading the efforts to put it together. And
I'm glad yeah.
We'll have to shout out the YouTube people that let us borrow their page for today and tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. We have a bunch of thank yous.
Yeah, I had such a great time watching that, so thanks so much.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Yeah, there were some beautiful performances for sure.
Yeah. And just the way it ended, I love the way it ended with Danielle there. That was
very impressive.
That was an all-encompassing experience.
Very impressive. See, Chris, if you can get Alana Sterling on as well. I mean, she's also
I've talked with Alana.
Megastar.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, she was into Twitch even before the lockdown.
That's right. Sensational.
And she streamed once. I talked with her because we were going to anyway. She once streamed for 26 hours in a row.
She does stuff like that
on a New Year's Eve thing, so she could be there on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, in every time zone.
Oh, the joy of youth.
On Twitch. And Danielle streams on Twitch for 6 hours a week.
I know. No, they're very impressive.
It's quite an unusual medium, I gotta say.
But they have huge followings. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and they're built in because it's more of a gaming system, and it also has monetization built into it. So people can at any time they can throw you some money.
Yeah.
They don't have to go through any kind of procedure. It's already registered that
it's all managed. So
they have their own internal currency basically within the Twitch environment. Very intriguing.
Well, it's an Amazon thing, so yeah. They own a lot of the world.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's been a great pleasure. So thanks very much, Chris, for hosting.
Thanks for being here. Yeah.
Is that an Aussie accent, Mark?
It's a British accent.
Oh, it's British. Okay, very good, very good.
But it's Aussie, London, kind of similar.
Yeah, it is. Very
the one thing I didn't do, and I know some people probably don't know exactly what the song along is, but it's interesting. It got referred to. Did you notice that, Sharon? That phrase was used. Do you know what it is?
No, I just knew.
No, what's that? Oh, you knew just by hearing it.
Yeah, but no, no. I mean, it's new lingo. Is that what you mean?
Oh, it's new. I thought you said you knew. No, it's new. Yeah. Well, it is a simple, very powerful concept that just took place for the 29th time.
Yes.
29th year in a row here in Ottawa, and had this time around 45 participants. That is 45 songwriters who selected one of 4 arbitrary topics and wrote a song and sang it in the event. That is the concept. That's the event. It's generated thousands of songs.
Wow.
It's fun. Yeah.
And it's motivated people to write songs only because it's a free event.
Yeah.
You write your song, you sing your song, but you're singing it to your peers.
Yes.
And it is very highly motivating. Do you agree, Mark? Was this?
And a very impressive standard, I thought.
What's that?
A very impressive standard, I thought.
Yeah, well, Ottawa has a very, very high, level songwriting. Strong. You saw some of it tonight. The songwriting community. We all know each other.
I know that's what's wonderful about the. I know the folk scene is very supportive, eclectic, bridging.
Yeah, because of the Folklore Center, which Arthur McGregor ran for.
Folklore Center, I love. The Folklore Center, I miss. I really feel like that's quite a.
See, that's another example. That was a huge loss.
No.
So, but anyway,
I cried a little bit when I heard, because I worked there for
you worked
a
there,
bunch of
Jason.
years.
Yeah, it's funny. This morning, Jason, I just had a sudden image of you behind the counter at the Folklore Center.
just behind the jar that used to say "Take your pick."
Take your pick.
Yes. Yeah,
just think of that place. You just had to walk in there. It was a whole world.
Oh, it's my favorite place. It's just down the street from me. I'm on Belmont.
And see, we did some stuff to try to save it. I definitely did some stuff, but it just didn't have the same momentum for whatever reason. I think we started too late, or I'm not sure.
Yeah.
See, by the time we started, they'd already declared bankruptcy, hadn't they? Or not quite, but.
Yeah, I know. And asking for help is the whole thing about, they think it's a weakness, but actually it's a strength.
Yeah, see, that's people lost faith in the business after they said that they were in financial difficulty. But this is different because everybody understands why the Mayfair is in difficulty. So maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Well, the selling
because it's a very parallel situation.
Well, and we all lose, and but the seat sale, I encouraged, in Josh and that whole thing in the very beginning of the seat sale. I said I bought 3 seats. I bought for my husband, my daughter, and me, because that's my gravestone. I literally, this is like a story. I said, I don't care if I have a buried or anything. I said, I just want my name on a seat in the Mayfair.
Okay? On a plaque, on a seat.
So I got my number too, number 69, because I love 1969. And it's the seat I always chose when I was working with the festival. It's 4 rows back on the aisle, and I'd use it to take pictures, and I'd use it to get up and speak. And I just love setting like on the left front, 4 rows back. And so I actually got my seat. I bought it early.
I didn't know the seats were numbered, or did they number them?
They're all numbered. Yeah.
Were they always numbered, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I basically bought a number, and then
so you could do reserves ticket seating there.
Not really, because you have to just go up to somebody and say, you're in my seat and this is my name. So that's like a funny thing. I mean, you could actually do that, come up and say, hey, do you see, this is my seat, but obviously it's not going to fill up. So it's like just something, but I really felt like it's like, rather than a gravestone, I'd rather have my name on a seat at the Mayfair.
They sold all the seats and everything, plaques on everything. I don't think there's anything left that they could put a plaque on.
It's a good idea. They can sell more. I don't know, they're selling everything, but I think that's a survival thing. Obviously, that's not money making. Yeah.
No.
Anyway, I got to say good night. And
nice to
thanks
see you,
for
Mark.
Hosting, and thanks for a great evening.
We're going to call it a wrap. And Jason and Reed, are you okay? I'm going to tell people for tomorrow what did we call it, Jason? Logistics session?
Yeah.
That we'll do that at 12:30?
Sure.
The doors open at 1:40.
I might be a bit late to that, Chris, just because I might be still on the way home from the church, from the service.
Yeah, I know. And I'm supposed to be hosting the coffee hour, Reed.
Yeah.
On Zoom. But we'll figure something out, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just invite them all to the logistics session.
Yeah. If you're gonna, are you gonna be in time for the actual show, Reed?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll be here.
Yeah. Okay.
The show.
I was gonna say, if not, then I could just get Doreen's video. But if you're gonna be there, if you're gonna be there, then that's fine.
We'll play that again, right? Is that, you think?
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
That was amazing. She just materialized right at the last minute.
And it was clear quality coming through for the.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
I asked her.
About
a week and a half ago if she could do it, but I didn't hear anything. And all of a sudden, right before the show, she showed up, and we recorded that on Zoom.
So, couple of things. We are still live on YouTube, and we are also still recording.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. So, I wonder, is anybody watching on YouTube?
There's apparently 15 people still on YouTube.
Well, they can also. This will be archived unless we take it down.
Yeah, you can replay this.
Well, we're recording this, but also YouTube will automatically record it unless we take it down. Is that right?
Yeah, well, we will have to take it down because it's not our. We're borrowing the account.
I think the purpose of that account is just so people can stream.
It's only for streaming. It's only for transient events. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure we can download the video and the recording, and I have a copy of the recording separate on the computer.
Yeah. So here, Sharon, before we go, let's tell you about the very cool thing that's happening tomorrow. Are you coming tomorrow?
Yes, I am. And I did send you my email and my phone number, but I don't know if you got it.
Do you know what Sync Space is?
No, I don't know that.
Well, see, and we, after talking, especially with Adrian Cho that developed it, Jason.
Adrian Cho from Carleton University.
Is he associated with Carleton? He's a musician.
I took a class with him, yeah.
He's a musician and a software designer.
Yep, okay.
Okay, well, he solved the problem. And I was going to say, when Jason and Reed and I have been talking with Adrian, because they're demonstrating it tomorrow, so we had to figure out a few things. This platform that he developed.
Yeah.
So when we were talking to him, it became more and more clear to us that even though his initial application was for musicians, that this is what he's developed is very highly relevant to a lot of other disciplines. Jason, do you agree? Did you come to the same conclusion?
I think there's a lot of applications for theater, dance, and other performance stuff. Yeah, just because of the real time or pretty much real time interaction, as close as any solution anyone's come to being in the same room with people, but at a distance. But that really invites the possibility of national and international collaborations.
Cool.
Basically, real time, multi-site, audio and video.
Well, I think,
and especially audio. That's the key thing.
When I took my class with him, it was musicians performing, and he was trying it out when I took the class with him.
But Winnie, how recently did you take that class?
Just in the last couple months.
Oh, well then, yeah, they were using it. Well, so you do know what SyncSpace is.
Yeah, that's the name, but that now
has... It's at syncspace.live.
Oh, cool. Okay.
It has taken over his life.
Wow.
And his wife, Diane Nalini.
I was there at the very first trial then, because he said this.
That's hilarious.
I know, it's weird.
Okay, so his wife, Diane Nalini, he's a jazz bass player, upright bass. Yes. She is an awesome singer, Diane Nalini. She will be in this demonstration tomorrow.
Wow.
So there will be musicians in Ottawa, Toronto, and Hamilton performing live together. I'm going to try really hard to get people to understand how important that is.
Amazing. Yeah, well, you should. I think the idea that this is the first time is always good to say that.
But it's not the first time. Like, he's been using it a lot, but
you're sharing it. Yeah.
People I'm connected to have not realized the import. Yeah. And again, now apply that to theater and dance type applications.
It's like Alexander Graham Bell calling next door and say, "Can you hear me?" or "Bring me my something from the other room." Like, remember that was when he first used the telephone, and it was the first time that was invented. It's kind of like that.
It is kind of like that.
Yeah, technology.
I mean, in the conditions that we're in.
I know.
But even without the conditions that we're in prompted it.
Yeah.
And we asked Adrian, did you know ahead of time that you would be able to do this? No. No. He just worked away at it till he figured it out. Yeah. And now he has 35 servers in various cities around the world that are running this thing. He said, I don't have time to play the bass anymore.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
But I think he's playing tomorrow though.
Well, ironically, I just thought of this today too.
So what do you mean? So he'll know you?
Yes, I was in class, and I technology. I took it. It was a jazz class. It was history, and I play the flute. So I used to play jazz flute and such. But the whole idea is that I just think technology. I have degrees in instructional technology from Philadelphia, but I feel like humanity needs to come back, and this might be a way of using technology to connect people to humanity.
Well, see, the thing about being there is a real thing about being in sync, in real or close to real time. That's a human thing.
Yeah, you're right.
When you're together in the same room, you start breathing with the same rhythm. Your heart start beating with the same rhythm. It's called entrainment. And you synchronize with one another physically, psychically, and all those different levels when you're in person. But if you're on a communication system where you can't do anything together, you can't do a beat, make a beat together, you can't sing together, then that's a very fundamental thing that's lacking. So we get out of sync. So his thing is sync space.
That's so cool. Sync space. I will definitely. He
Dot
did
live. Go to syncspace.live.
not have that name when I took the class. It did
Yeah,
not.
I guess, yeah, because he's done all kinds of things to create a venue and a platform and to inform all kinds of people about it. I can't believe how much he's done.
And this has been since
And
January.
to document it and to support it. What's that?
It's been since January, I'm pretty sure, because I'm pretty sure I took the course in
So you know what, Sharon, if you want to use sync space, which I think you do.
Yep.
Well, yes. You need to see if, do you live in Ottawa?
Well, I just live across the street from, it's Sunnyside and Seneca.
Oh, okay. Well, then I know the answer. You can get Bell Fiber service to your place of residence because that's what you need.
Use Bell Fiber because my thing is pretty good, the connection.
No, but you need Bell Fiber because that will give you not only the low latency that you need. That's the key word, right?
Okay.
Not only the low latency, it will also give you the routing that you need because it won't send your signal to Montreal or Toronto before sending it back to Ottawa.
Right. My father used to
Bell
work
5 is routed within Ottawa, and I think
Bell,
actually within one of
I'm a baby Bell, by the way, because my father worked for Bell for 33 years. In
Wow.
Bell. I'm a baby Bell.
I work for BNR and Nortel.
Oh yeah. No, those are the Bell. That's you're a baby Bell too.
in the department that was envisioning how people might use phones and related technology in the future.
Oh wow!
Guess what? We're living in it now.
I know you invented it.
Well, yeah. We used to,
folks.
Yeah,
I gotta
time to go, right?
Yeah, I gotta get going. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I got a few things to do before I go to bed tonight. But
thanks for
it's been
everything.
awesome. Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Just text me when we know exactly what time, and we'll go.
Yeah. Well, yeah. This is excellent.